Chapter 776. Since ancient times, the Jade Lake's sacred ground had enshrined some strange stones. Some of them were found by the Queen Mother of the West. All of these strange stones were born from the heavens and the earth, and they gathered the essence of the universe, the sun and the moon. To put it bluntly, it was equivalent to the embryo of a Holy Spirit. What was a Holy Spirit? A greater success saint spirit was in existence that could fight against great emperors and ancient sovereigns. The Jade Lake sacred ground cared a lot about these strange stones, and there were supreme beings who taught them about the Tao. All kinds of spiritual liquids and precious blood were poured over it. Among them, the most precious was a 9-orifice stone embryo. It was rumored that the 9 orifices stone embryo was the reason why the Queen Mother of the West was able to cultivate the 12 orifices immortal heart. However, the 9 orifices stone embryo was lost later on. Yu Qingning never thought that the 9 orifices stone embryo was actually here, waiting for the inheritor of the innate Taoist embryo. Great opportunity, this is truly a great opportunity. Yu Qingning sighed. This 9-orifice stone embryo was definitely rare. If Jiang Xingyi absorbed its energy and refined it, he would almost certainly be able to cultivate the 9 orifices Linglong Taoist heart. If he could completely refine it, he might even have a chance to cultivate the 12 apertures immortal heart. Even if he didn't refine it, he could still cultivate it into an avatar. In the future, he would be able to nurture an invincible saint spirit. It could be said that the fortune of the 9 orifices stone embryo was even more precious than the tribulation transcending divine lotus. Just as the 9 orifices stone embryo appeared, that terrifying and boundless fluctuation directly overturned the entire ancient hall. The surrounding ancient lands seemed to have been razed to the ground. From this, it could be seen how much power this 9-orifice stone embryo possessed. Xingyi, quick, put it away. This is the foundation of your transformation in the future, Yu Qingning said solemnly. Jiang Xingyi nodded. She waved her snow-white sleeve and put away the 9 orifices stone embryo along with the Jade Lake immortal scripture. The 9 orifices stone embryo also seemed to have spiritual awareness. It sensed the aura of the connate Tao embryo on Jiang Xingyi and did not resist. Clearly, the aura of the innate Taoist embryo was the same as the aura of the Queen Mother of the West. It could be said that if it were anyone else, as long as they didn't have the innate Tao embryo, they would be fiercely resisted by the stone embryo. What a great harvest this time! Jiang Xingyi's red lips curled up slightly. Her pearly white teeth were like jade as she revealed a joyful smile. All right, Xingyi, you will be baptized by the jade pool and then refine the tribulation crossing divine lotus. The commotion here will probably attract some trouble, said Yu Qingning. Master, Xingyi understands. Jiang Xingyi calmed his mind and sat cross-legged on the tribulation transcending immortal lotus. The baptism of the Jade Lake was a rare opportunity. After the supreme baptism, Jiang Xingyi's body and primordial spirit would be incomparably pure and flawless. His talent would be further enhanced. At that time, even if he wasn't as talented as Jun Xiaoyao, he would at least be an outstanding talent among his peers. This opportunity was extremely important to Jiang Xingyi. Just as Jiang Xingyi was receiving the baptism of the Jade Pool and was about to refine the tribulation transcending divine lotus, the commotion in the Jade Lake ancient land naturally spread out. There were already all kinds of strange phenomena rising in this place. In addition, when the 9-orifice stone embryo was born, it emitted a powerful fluctuation that overturned the ancient palace and the surrounding area. It was difficult for such a big commotion not to attract the attention of other sky prides. Hey, what rich spirit chi! It's indeed in that ancient land. That's a lake in front. Why does it seem like someone is sitting cross-legged in it? The sky prides from all directions were attracted by the strange phenomena and gathered at the Jade Lake ancient land. Some of the sharp-eyed people saw the depths of the Jade Lake ancient land. Immortal light shone brightly and spirit chi was dense. A celestial lake was located in it. Could that be the legendary Jade Lake? Undergoing baptism in it can achieve a transformation in one's life level? The eyes of all the sky prides were burning with passion. Innate talent was something that was hard to change if one didn't have a great opportunity. The baptism of the Jade Lake was undoubtedly a huge opportunity for transformation. No, it's not just the Jade Lake. There's also a lotus in it. Damn, could it be the tribulation transcending divine lotus? Many sky prides narrowed their eyes and were dumbfounded. The sky prides who were able to reach the buried Emperor Star were all dragons and phoenixes among men. Their vision was naturally very high, so it was reasonable for them to be able to recognize the tribulation transcending divine lotus. However, it was precisely because they knew the effects of the tribulation transcending divine lotus that they were so envious and crazy. To be able to be immune to the power of the heavenly tribulation to a certain extent, its effects were simply heaven-defying. Even ordinary immortal elixirs could not compare to it. I must obtain the tribulation transcending divine lotus. A sky pride flew across the sky on his sword. The passion in his eyes seemed to turn into flames that were about to burst out. Dream on. Such a wondrous item of heaven and earth can only be obtained by those who are capable. The other sky prides were not to be outdone. In just a short moment, hundreds and thousands of sky prides rushed to the depths of the Jade Lake ancient land. However, when they approached, they could clearly see the peerless figure sitting cross-legged on the tribulation transcending divine lotus. She was dressed in snow-white clothes that were flawless. Her hair was as white as snow, and it complemented her peerlessly beautiful face. It was truly a dazzling sight, and it made one marvel at the miraculous creation. Jiang Xingyi's temperament was originally like a snow lotus on the heavenly mountain, untainted by dust and aloof from the world. Now that she was sitting cross-legged on the tribulation transcending divine lotus, she displayed the charm of a cold and peerless goddess to the fullest. Some sky prides were even a little dazed and momentarily forgot to make a move. It's the Jiang family's goddess. There were also some sky prides who came to their senses, and a hint of hesitation appeared in their eyes. If it were any other sky prides, they would not hesitate to snatch the opportunity. However, if it was Jiang Xingyi, it would be a little difficult to deal with. The difficult part was not Jiang Xingyi herself. Although she was strong enough to make many people wary of her, it was obvious that she was not strong enough to intimidate everyone. She was strong enough to intimidate all the sky prides on the entire ancient road. There was only one person. That person was Jun Xiaoyao, who had never tasted defeat since he was born. He was unrivaled among the younger generation. It could be said that anyone who was related to Jun Xiaoyao was enough to make others wary. Not to mention, the relationship between Jiang Xingyi and Jun Xiaoyao was very unusual. This unusual relationship was not because of Jiang Xingyi's identity as Jiang Xingyi's aunt. It was because she was very important to Jun Xiaoyao. Their relationship was different from that of other women. If something happened to Jiang Xingyi, the sky prides present would not doubt it. Jun Xiaoyao would directly kill all of them, not leaving a single one alive. It's actually the Jiang family's goddess. What should we do? Many people revealed hesitation in their eyes. In the jade pool, Jiang Xingyi, who was sitting cross-legged on the tribulation transcending divine lotus, slowly opened her beautiful eyes and looked around. There were more than 1,000 sky prides present. How could anyone who could reach the buried Emperor Star be weak? However, these sky prides did not rashly make a move. Jiang Xingyi knew in her heart what they were worried about. In Jiang Xingyi's mind, Yu Qingning's sigh rang out. They seemed to be worried because of Jun Xiaoyao. TSK, I didn't expect my disciple's man to be so influential. It really makes me very curious. Yu Qingning's tone had a hint of gossip and ridicule. To be honest, even she, the ancient Jade Pool sect master, was interested in Jun Xiaoyao. This man could make her disciple so worried, and he was so outstanding that all the Sky Prides were wary of him. Who exactly was he? For a better reading experience, please visit the mobile version of the website, /book/5975/. Chapter 777. Yu Qingning's words made Jiang Xingyi's snow-white face blush a little. At the same time, there was a hint of pride in her beautiful eyes. This was the man of her dreams, a peerless man with a domineering aura. Just his name alone was enough to intimidate all the Sky Prides, making them not dare to act rashly. Even the successors of the Xian Ting's immortal orthodoxies, the Overlord, and the others did not possess this kind of deterrence and influence. It could only be said that the name Jun Xiaoyao represented a supreme existence. No one dared to offend him. Although Jiang Xingyi was very proud of herself, she also understood that the opportunities here were too tempting. The Jade Pool Baptism and the Tribulation Transcendence Immortal Lotus would make even an honorable envious. Fortunately, Jiang Xingyi had put away the Jade Pool Immortal Sutra and the Nine Orifice Stone Embryo. Otherwise, even with Jun Xiaoyao's reputation, it would not be able to suppress the crazy greed in these Sky Prides' hearts. Jiang Xingyi also understood that this kind of scruples would not last long. She could only try her best to absorb and refine as much as possible. Just as Jiang Xingyi was about to concentrate on cultivating, a voice that was as cold as frost suddenly sounded. As expected, I guessed correctly. Jiang Xingyi, it's really you. Following this voice, two rainbows flashed from afar and landed in the void. It was Princess Divine Silkworm and Yao Yuekong. Princess Divine Silkworm had a slender figure, her muscles and bones were crystal clear, and 9 divine halos were faintly discernible behind her head, emitting Dao Luo radiance. 9-colored divine light enveloped her body, making her look like a noble goddess. Yao Yuekong's aura was also powerful, evil, and handsome, causing people to be intimidated. It's Princess Divine Silkworm of the Divine Silkworm Valley. She has undergone 9 transformations and is unimaginably powerful. Yao Yuekong of the ancient Heavenly Demon Temple is here too. Rumor has it that he has cultivated the ancient Heavenly Demon Temple's Demon Emperor Immortal Sutra to an extremely profound level. Both of them were Sky Prides whose names shook the ancient road. Especially Princess Divine Silkworm. Although she was a woman, her strength was feared by many male supreme outlawed Sky Prides. The appearance of these two caused the hearts of many Sky Prides present to skip a beat. Then, they smiled bitterly and helplessly. What was originally a big piece of fat meat was divided among a group of jackals and wolves. In the end, when the tiger came, the pack of jackals could only eat the scraps. It couldn't be helped. On the ultimate ancient road, strength was everything. When Jiang Xingyi saw Princess Divine Silkworm and Yao Yuekong, a hint of seriousness appeared in his eyes. Other people might fear Jun Xiaoyao, but Princess Divine Silkworm and Yao Yuekong definitely wouldn't. Behind them were the top Archean royalty, Divine Silkworm Valley, and the ancient Heaven Fei Palace, an immortal demon faction. They were not intimidated by Jun Xiaoyao's name. Yao Yuekong sized up Jiang Xingyi, and a hint of surprise flashed across his eyes. To be honest, the Divine Silkworm Princess by his side was already a rare heavenly beauty. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so infatuated and be willing to be a tool and bootlicker. However, Jiang Xingyi was stunning not only because of her beautiful and peerless appearance, but also because of her temperament that was like a snow lotus in a cold spring. If a man could conquer such a peerless woman, he would be extremely satisfied. Thinking of this, even Yao Yuekong couldn't help but feel jealous of Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao's luck with women was too good. Goddesses and concubines kept throwing themselves at him, infatuated with him. As for Yao Yuekong, he had to be a lowly bootlicker to chase after Princess Divine Silkworm. Yao Yuekong restrained his emotions and sneered. The Jade Pool Baptism and the Tribulation Immortal Lotus. This is a great opportunity. Even if Yao Yuekong had the ancient Heaven Fei Palace behind him, He had never lacked opportunities since he was young. However, he was still a little envious when he saw the opportunity in front of him. Princess Divine Silkworm's beautiful eyes were deep. She shook her head lightly and said, "Not only, oh." Yao Yuekong was puzzled. Princess Divine Silkworm looked straight at Jiang Shengyi and said, "Jiang Shengyi, you have a Khanate Dao embryo. You will definitely be able to obtain all the inheritance here. It should include the Jade Pool Immortal Sutra, right? You might even obtain something even more precious." Princess Divine Silkworm's words made the elites' breathing quicken. Their eyes were burning as they turned to Jiang Shengyi. It had to be said that Princess Divine Silkworm was very smart. She had deduced some things. Jiang Shengyi's gains were definitely not just the Jade Pool Baptism and the Tribulation Immortal Lotus on the surface. Jiang Shengyi frowned slightly as her eyes turned cold. Princess Divine Silkworm clearly wanted to roast her over the fire and make her the target of everyone. Ignoring everything else, just a complete Immortal Sutra's value was indescribable. Some Immortal Factions' cornerstone cultivation techniques were only Immortal Sutras. Fortunately, Princess Divine Silkworm didn't know about the 9-orifice stone embryo. Otherwise, everyone present would go crazy when a sacred spirit embryo was born. "So what if I got it? Do you want to make a move?" Jiang Shengyi's voice was as calm as water. At this point, there was no need to hide anything anymore. "I know that you have the Jiang family of the Desolate Land backing you, and Jun Xiaoyao is supporting you. But you have to know that you won't be able to take this opportunity alone." Princess Divine Silkworm's eyes dimmed. The two beauties were competing. It had to be said that it was very interesting to watch. Just as the atmosphere froze. Finally, a prodigy couldn't help but make a move. He didn't ask to obtain the Tribulation Immortal Lotus or the Jade Pool Immortal Sutra. As long as he could enter the Jade Pool and receive a baptism, it would be a supreme opportunity. The prodigy used a divine ability, and a beam of dermic power shot out. However, just as this beam of light landed on Jiang Shengyi, a rune barrier suddenly rose from the entire Jade Pool. The beam of dermic power bombarded the rune barrier, but it didn't even cause a ripple. "Very good. It seems that this barrier is protecting you to receive the baptism in peace." In Jiang Shengyi's mind, Yu Qingning's voice sounded with a hint of joy. This way, Jiang Shengyi could safely receive the baptism and refine the Tribulation Transcendence Divine Lotus. At that time, Jiang Shengyi's talent and strength would increase again, and he would be able to retreat calmly. Princess Divine Silkworm's pretty face couldn't help but change when she saw this scene. She raised her jade-like hand and casually blasted out a 9-colored divine light. The powerful fluctuation plowed a 1,000-foot ravine in the ground. However, the 9-colored divine light bombarded the rune barrier, but it only caused a faint ripple. How could this be? Princess Divine Silkworm clenched her jade-like hands. She had calculated everything, but she didn't expect this. Yao Yuekong also made a move, but he still couldn't break through the rune barrier. What's going on? Can we only watch helplessly? Many prodigies couldn't help but make a move. All kinds of divine abilities fell on the rune barrier at the edge of the jade pool like raindrop. However, they could only cause ripples and couldn't break it at all. This way, they could only watch from the outside. This feeling of being unable to obtain a mountain of gold in front of them was too uncomfortable. Princess Divine Silkworm's beautiful face became even gloomier. There were only two kinds of relationships between outstanding women. They either admired each other or compared themselves to each other. Obviously, Princess Divine Silkworm wasn't willing to watch Jiang Shengyi receive the baptism and refine the Immortal Lotus. If she really digests this opportunity, coupled with the power of the Khanate Dao embryo, she might really be able to suppress me. I absolutely won't allow it. Princess Divine Silkworm clenched her jade-like hands. But now, this barrier was like a natural chasm that separated Jiang Shengyi from the outside world. Unless Jiang Shengyi walked out herself. But was that possible? just as Princess Divine Silkworm was a little anxious. Suddenly, 3 figures slowly emerged from the void. The figure in the lead, who was wearing a wolf-shaped mask on his face, said coldly, "Jiang Shengyi, I didn't expect you to have such an opportunity, but I have a piece of news here. I wonder if you're interested?" All the prodigies gathered their gazes, and a look of astonishment appeared in their eyes. Jiang Shengyi's eyes were also as cold as frost. The people who appeared were Greed, Destruction, and 7 Kills, the 3 great bandits. Chapter 778. The 13 bandits of the ancient road were once fearsome existences. Any sky prides would have a fearful expression whenever they talked about them. However, this terrifying organization had provoked the even more terrifying Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao had slaughtered most of the 13 bandits. Only 4 bandits led by the immortal slaying bandit were left. Now, 3 of them had appeared. The sky prides were stunned by the appearance of the 3 bandits. One should know that the 13 bandits were like venomous snakes in the dark. They would usually only sneak up on others and attack them from behind. However, they had now appeared in public. This was very unusual. Do they have someone to rely on? Could it be that person? Some sky prides seemed to have thought of something and felt their hair stand on end. They looked around with fear in their eyes. The immortal slaying bandit. This mysterious leader of the 13 bandits had almost never appeared. However, to be able to become the leader of the 13 bandits, his strength must be absolutely terrifying. There were rumors before that the immortal slaying bandit's strength could kill outlawed sky prides as easily as eating and drinking. However, no matter how the sky prides probed, they could not detect any hidden aura. Princess Divine Silkworm and Yao Yuekong were also surprised. They did not have a good impression of the infamous 13 bandits of the ancient road. However, after seeing that Tarantula and the others were targeting Jiang Shengyi, Princess Divine Silkworm and Yao Yuekong decided to wait and see. "It's you gutter rats again. It seems that killing the moon-slaying bandit and the galactic destroyer bandit wasn't enough to intimidate you." Jiang Shengyi frowned, her eyes filled with cold disgust. She was disgusted by these bandits who went around assassinating, robbing others of their bloodlines. They had also coveted Jiang Shengyi's innate Taoist embryo. However, this was not what angered Jiang Shengyi the most. What angered her the most was that these bandits dared to set their sights on Jun Xiaoyao. They wanted to suppress Jiang Shengyi to lure Jun Xiaoyao into taking the bait and then rob him of his sacred body of the ancient. To Jiang Shengyi, this was absolutely unacceptable. Jiang Shengyi would kill anyone who dared to scheme against Jun Xiaoyao. "I have nothing to say to you. If you don't leave, then you will die." Jiang Shengyi's beautiful eyes surged with killing intent. She, who was as quiet as an immortal, seemed to have transformed into a killing immortal at this moment. However, Jiang Shengyi was not impulsive. Naturally, she wouldn't give up the chance to be baptized in the Jade Lake just to kill Tarantula and the others. Tarantula sneered and didn't care about Jiang Shengyi's attitude. She said lightly, "I told you, I'm here to tell you something. Not interested." Jiang Shengyi continued to cultivate and accept the baptism. "Oh? It's about Jiang Luoli. Aren't you interested?" Tarantula sneered. "What?" Jiang Shengyi's beautiful eyes suddenly emitted a cold light. His snow-white hair fluttered even though there was no wind. There were only a few people that Jiang Shengyi cared about. Besides Jun Xiaoyao, Jiang Luoli was also one of them. Although there was a gap between her and Jiang Luoli because of Jun Xiaoyao, it was resolved in the end. She had always regarded Jiang Luoli as her younger sister. "What did you do to Luoli?" Jiang Shengyi bit her red lips. If something happened to Jiang Luoli, she wouldn't be able to absolve herself from the blame. "Nothing, she just entered the gate of life and death," Tarantula said with a smile. Boom. Jiang Shengyi felt as if thunder was rumbling in her mind. Her beautiful face immediately turned pale. She naturally knew what kind of place the gate of life and death was. It was the most famous place in the buried Emperor's Star. Since ancient times, very few people had been able to come out alive after entering it. What's more, in Jiang Xingyi's heart, Jiang Luoli had always been a naive and playful girl. How could someone like her withstand the trial of the gate of life and death? You forced her. Jiang Xingyi's snow-white sleeves fluttered, and a murderous aura rose. We didn't force her. She wanted to go in herself. We just wanted to suppress her, Tarantula sneered. At the same time, Tarantula's eyes were filled with treachery under the wolf mask. He deliberately wanted to anger Jiang Xingyi. As long as she stepped out of the jade pool, it would be enough. You are unforgivable. Jiang Xingyi was furious. Her beautiful face was cold, and her jade-like face was filled with anger. Many people were surprised. This was the first time they had seen this fairy-like woman get angry. Xingyi, calm down. Your baptism isn't over yet. You haven't completely refined the tribulation transcendence divine lotus. Yu Qingning's cold voice resounded in Jiang Xingyi's mind. In Yu Qingning's eyes, Jiang Xingyi had always been a mature, calm, and intelligent woman. She wouldn't lose her composure like this. Master, I watched Luoli grow up. She's like my biological sister. Now that we don't know whether she's dead or alive, how can Xingyi accept the baptism with peace of mind? Jiang Xingyi gritted her teeth and said in her heart. She naturally knew that this was Tarantula and the others' way of provoking her. They wanted to lure her out of the jade pool. However, she was worried about Jiang Luoli. You have to think carefully. If you go out now, not only will the opportunity be snatched by others, but you will also be in danger. Due to the rules of the buried Emperor's Star, I can't help you. Yu Qingning's tone was extremely serious. I'm sorry, Master. Sometimes, even though you know that this choice is very stupid, you still have to do it. It's because Xingyi can't go against her heart. Jiang Xingyi silently said in her heart. Then, she suddenly stood up from the tribulation transcendence lotus. Step by step, she walked out of the jade pool. Her body was surrounded by the radiance of the great Tao, making her look like a supreme and holy goddess of light. Seeing this scene, Yu Qingning sighed softly. She felt helpless, but more importantly, she felt gratified. Even though she knew that the choice was very stupid and would only bring her harm, she still had to do it. Perhaps this was what she admired about Jiang Xingyi the most. After all, who would want their disciple to be a person who only cared about profits? Seeing Jiang Xingyi walk out, not only did Tarantula and the others have killing intent in their eyes. Princess Divine Silkworm's eyes also flashed with a trace of joy. If Jiang Xingyi really digested the opportunity, she would definitely feel uncomfortable. Now, she also had a chance to fight for the opportunity. The Jade Pool Immortal Sutra should be with her. Maybe there are other rare treasures. Princess Divine Silkworm's eyes changed. Boom! Jiang Xingyi stepped out of the Jade Pool. At that moment, the Jade Pool's runic barrier suddenly dimmed. Obviously, it was because there was no one to protect. Soon, the entire runic barrier would disappear. At that time, everyone would have a chance to enter, receive the baptism, and obtain the Tribulation Transcendence Lotus. Heh! You've chosen to walk right into our trap? Tarantula and the others channeled their magic power at the same time, and their auras rose. These three's strength was second only to the immortal execution bandits among the 13 bandit. When the three of them joined forces, even the supreme outlawed sky prides would be wary. Today, you're the ones who will die. Jiang Xingyi's snow-white clothes fluttered, and her snow-white hair danced in the wind. She must kill these three today, and then go to the gate of life and death to find out about Jiang Luoli's situation. Just as both sides were about to draw their swords, Princess Divine Silkworm suddenly stepped out and looked straight at Jiang Xingyi, saying, Jiang Xingyi, the Jade Pool Immortal Sutra should be with you, right? Chapter 779. Princess Divine Silkworm's words not only made Jiang Xingyi frown, but it also surprised the surrounding prodigies. They didn't expect Princess Divine Silkworm to make things difficult for them at this time. Could it be that Princess Divine Silkworm wants to take the opportunity to suppress the Jiang family's divine lady with the other bandits? The surrounding prodigies guessed. Now that the rune barrier had yet to be removed, they naturally couldn't compete for the Jade Pool baptism and the tribulation transcending immortal lotus. Therefore, Princess Divine Silkworm turned her attention to Jiang Xingyi. However, it wasn't too honorable to suppress her together with the 13 bandits. After all, the 13 bandits were notorious and hated by everyone. However, with Princess Divine Silkworm's status, no one dared to question her. So, you guys want to make a move too? Jiang Xingyi's expression was as cold as frost. It's not absolute. As long as you are willing to share the Jade Pool Immortal Sutra with me, I can promise not to make a move. Princess Divine Silkworm combed her soft hair with her jade-like hands, her expression as calm as water. That's right, we are not unreasonable people, Yao Yuekong chimed in. When Tarantula and the other two saw this scene, a playful look appeared in their eyes. It seemed like there were still helpers. You guys are dreaming. Tear off that hypocritical mask, Jiang Xingyi said coldly. Sigh, I know what your confidence is. It's none other than Jun Xiaoyao. Let's not talk about whether he is here or not. Even if he is here, it won't change anything. Princess Divine Silkworm, Yao Yuekong, Tan Lang, Pajun, and Qi Sha, the 3 bandits. They might even attract that extremely mysterious immortal slaying bandit. In Princess Divine Silkworm's opinion, even if Jun Xiaoyao came, he wouldn't be able to change the situation. A frog at the bottom of a well doesn't know the vastness of the sea, Jiang Xingyi said sarcastically. Many prodigies had tried to figure out Jun Xiaoyao's true strength, but without exception they were all slapped in the face. Jun Xiaoyao's strength was immeasurable. If it could be measured, then he wouldn't be Jun Xiaoyao. How dare you! Before Princess Divine Silkworm could say anything, Yao Yuekong directly attacked. He wanted to help Princess Divine Silkworm obtain the Jade Pool Immortal Sutra. Heavenly Demon devours the world. Yao Yuekong's first move was an extreme move. His magic power surged, and his demonic aura surged. An incomparably gigantic blood-colored demonic shadow appeared, as if it wanted to devour everything in the world. It was terrifying to the extreme. This move was enough to prove Yao Yuekong's strength. However, Jiang Xingyi's snow-white hair fluttered in the wind. She, who had been training alone all this time, had long transformed and sublimated. She was no longer the same as before. Jiang Xingyi reached out with her jade-like hand. The radiance of the great path flickered, and divine chains of order appeared, shooting out like dragons and snakes. The innate Tao embryo had an affinity with the Tao and could control the great Tao at will. In Jiang Xingyi's hands, the Tao of all things in the world had transformed into the most brilliant divine chains of order. Boom! Many divine chains of order shot out and tore the terrifying blood-red demonic shadow apart. At the sight of this, many of the surrounding sky prides sighed. The natural embryo of Tao was truly powerful. Great Tao Cage. Jiang Xingyi's 5 slender fingers grasped toward the void. In an instant, many space-sealing runes flashed around Yao Yuekong. The Tao patterns of heaven and earth seemed to have transformed into chains that intertwined with each other to form a cage, imprisoning Yao Yuekong within. Then, at the critical moment, Jiang Xingyi waved her jade-like hand again. Endless dazzling runes gathered and transformed into a great Tao blade that seemed to be able to cut through time and space. The great Tao blade. When Yao Yuekong saw this scene, a hint of shock appeared in his eyes. He didn't expect Jiang Xingyi's strength to be so strong. Just as he was about to use his ultimate move, Princess Divine Silkworm made her move. The 9 immortal divine rings behind her head flickered, and 9 colored divine light flickered. It was like a sword of light that slashed down horizontally. Rumble! The Tao sound was like rolling thunder, exploding in everyone's ears. Jiang Xingyi, your choice is very unwise. Princess Divine Silkworm's tone was indifferent. Yao Yuekong's demonic power burst forth, and a huge heavenly demon phantom seemed to appear behind him, breaking open the great Tao cage. His expression didn't look too good. He originally wanted to show off in front of Princess Divine Silkworm, but who would have thought that Princess Divine Silkworm would help him instead? How about this? We only want Jiang Shengyi, and you can take the Jade Pool Immortal Sutra and other opportunities. How about it? Tarantula looked at Princess Divine Silkworm and said. Their main target was only Jiang Shengyi's Khanate Tao embryo. After that, they would target Jun Xiaoyao through Jiang Shengyi. Princess Divine Silkworm nodded lightly and said, Sure. Next, Princess Divine Silkworm, Yao Yuekong, Tarantula, the Army Destroyer Bandits, and the 7 Kill Bandits. A total of 5 people surrounded Jiang Shengyi. This time, the Jiang family's goddess is really in trouble, the surrounding prodigies said. However, there was no fear in Jiang Shengyi's eyes. Go! Tarantula and the others were the first to attack. The greedy wolf howls at the moon, the blood soared across the sky, and other powerful mystical abilities were displayed. Jiang Shengyi's expression was cold as she calmly dealt with them. Endless Tao Lore radiance bloomed from her body. Although Jiang Shengyi didn't fully undergo the baptism, she had also obtained a partial sublimation and refined a portion of the power of the Tribulation Transcendence, Immortal Lotus. At this moment, she was in her peak state. A generation of flowers. Jiang Shengyi's snow-white clothes fluttered like a fairy. Countless snow-white petals fell like rain. Upon closer inspection, each petal was formed from great Tao runes. This was a Tao flower rain. Boom, boom, boom. Each petal was enough to instantly shatter a mountain range, and the ground was full of holes. Tarantula and the others were all blasted back, blood flowing from their mouth. Yao Yuekong also attacked. Princess Divine Silkworm was a step behind. Her eyes flickered with multicolored light as she probed Jiang Shengyi's background. Tarantula and the others calmed down the surging blood in their hearts and said coldly, You're just struggling on your deathbed. I said, You must die today. Jiang Shengyi's jade-like legs moved, creating lotuses with each step. Her speed was extremely fast, and she instantly landed in front of Tarantula and the others. Then, Jiang Shengyi raised her hand and activated the power of the Khanate Tao embryo. Extreme power of the Tao emerged, accompanied by surging immortal light. Finally, it turned into a great Tao treasure bottle in her hand. As the great Tao treasure bottle spun, endless runes and divine chains interweaved. The mouth of the bottle was like a black hole, crushing and disintegrating everything. This was an extremely powerful move activated by the Khanate Tao embryo. It was enough to shock the world, and even a supreme taboo would have goosebumps. Retreat! The greedy wolf bandit shouted. However, she was a step too late. The 7 slaughter bandits of the 3 bandits were directly pulled by the suction force and sucked into the great Tao treasure bottle. He didn't even have time to scream before he was instantly disintegrated, turning into particles smaller than dust. The surroundings were dead silent. Princess Divine Silkworm's eyes also narrowed, and there was fear in them. Jiang Shengyi's slender figure, snow-white clothes fluttering, and her black hair fluttering. She had a peerless beauty and the power to kill immortals. Chapter 780. At this moment, Jiang Shengyi was valiant to the extreme. She was clearly an ethereal and beautiful woman, but now she was like a female war immortal. One of the 3 great bandits, the 7 slaughter bandits, was killed by her. One had to know that Jiang Shengyi was currently being besieged. To be able to kill one of them was enough to prove Jiang Shengyi's strength. She wasn't just a flower vase. She didn't have to rely on Jun Xiaoyao. She alone was enough to make a name for herself. Damn it, if you don't try your best, don't think about getting what you want. Tarantula's expression was very ugly as she turned to look at Princess Divine Silkworm. There's no need for you to say anything, Princess Divine Silkworm said coldly. To be honest, Jiang Shengyi's strength had really exceeded her expectations. She originally thought that even if she didn't make a move, Jiang Xingyi should be subdued. Princess Divine Silkworm also made her move. Her 9-colored divine halo flickered, and the light beam that shot out annihilated heaven and earth, causing the void to collapse. Yao Yuekong also made his move, his demonic aura shocking the world. Tarantula and the army bandit naturally didn't need to say anything. They also attacked with all their might. For a time, the 4 young powerhouses suppressed Jiang Xingyi. When Princess Divine Silkworm made her move and joined the battle, the situation immediately changed. Princess Divine Silkworm was a 9 transformations celestial silkworm. Her strength was shocking, and she was extremely famous in the ancient road of ultimate. She alone was enough to deal with Jiang Xingyi. Not to mention, there was also Yao Yuekong, Tarantula, and the army bandit. The situation immediately took a turn for the worse. Jiang Xingyi was forced to retreat. Jiang Xingyi, struggling is futile. Hand over the Jade Pool Immortal Sutra, and there's still room for negotiation, Princess Divine Silkworm said coldly. Dream on, Jiang Xingyi said coldly. Then don't blame me. Heaven and earth net. Princess Divine Silkworm waved her jade-like arm, and her magic power burst out, transforming into a 9-colored light. Then, the 9-colored light split into countless threads that intertwined with each other, as if they had transformed into a 9-colored net that covered the sky and the sun. It was simply able to envelop heaven and earth. This was a shocking great divine ability of the Divine Silkworm Valley. It could encompass all things and then refine them. Jiang Xingyi also made a move. The great Dao treasure vase above his head spun, producing tens of thousands of runes to resist Princess Divine Silkworm's killer move. Yao Yuekong and the others also moved to suppress Jiang Xingyi. The situation was extremely unfavorable to Jiang Xingyi. Seeing this, the surrounding Sky Pride sighed. Jiang Xingyi's performance was worthy of her reputation. However, even the supreme outlawed Sky Prides would be troubled by such a lineup. Not everyone could be like Jun Xiaoyao, who was able to completely ignore the number of opponents and crush them all at once. Under such a siege, even someone as strong as Jiang Xingyi coughed up blood. Bright red blood dripped onto her snow-white clothes like blooming peach blossoms. The girls of the Jiang family are all so stubborn. Tarantula cursed inwardly. Whether it was Jiang Luoli or Jiang Xingyi, they were both so stubborn that they would never give in. Jun Xiaoyao was the only one who could make them submit. Annihilation net. Princess Divine Silkworm reached out and grabbed at the void. Suddenly, the 9-colored net spewed out 9-colored divine flames. Upon closer inspection, the divine flames were actually formed by endless runes. It was like a furnace that was about to trap Jiang Xingyi and refine her. Supreme Vase Seal. Jiang Xingyi pushed out her jade-like hand, and the great Dao treasure vase turned into a shocking divine seal. The seal blasted out, suppressing the universe. The net of threads that covered the sky was directly torn apart. Boom! A deafening roar exploded in the sky. Both sides retreated at the same time. Jiang Xingyi's delicate body trembled, and she coughed up another mouthful of blood. However, at this moment, Yu Qingning's voice suddenly sounded in Jiang Xingyi's mind. "Shimi, watch your back!" Jiang Xingyi's heart tightened. The void behind her was suddenly torn apart like a piece of paper. A slender figure flashed out from it. Holding a pitch-black scythe in her hand, she looked like the legendary Grim Reaper. The scythe slashed down, tearing through the void. Even Jiang Xingyi couldn't react for a moment, and she couldn't resist. She could only shift her body and try her best to dodge. Slash. The scythe cut Jiang Xingyi's jade-like back, and blood splattered out. Cough. Jiang Xingyi's figure fell from the sky, and her face was as pale as a sheet of paper. On her jade-like back, there was a hideous wound that was so deep that her bones could be seen, indicating the power of this attack. Fortunately, Jiang Xingyi's delicate body had been tempered by Jun Xiaoyao's sacred body blood essence. Otherwise, this attack might have even cut Jiang Xingyi's delicate body in half. This sudden scene could be said to have caused everyone present to be stunned. Who would have thought that someone would launch a sneak attack? Everyone's gaze turned to the figure that had suddenly appeared. With a single glance, everyone was stunned. It was a young girl. The young girl's body was as slender as a willow. She wore a black silk dress, and her jet-black hair flowed down like a waterfall. Her limbs were slender and delicate, and her skin was so pale that it seemed transparent. Some bandages were wrapped around her jade-like arms and slender legs. In her jade-like hand was a scythe of the Grim Reaper that was taller than her. On her face was a ghost mask that seemed to be crying and laughing at the same time. She looked like an evil spirit in the dark night. Like the Black Rose, she gave people a morbid and fatal illusion of beauty. Ba Xianyu, Tarantula and the army bandit looked a little excited when they saw the young girl. The young girl who had appeared was the leader of the 13 bandits, the immortal slaying bandit Xianyu. What? She's the legendary immortal slaying bandit? Hearing Tarantula and the others' words, the thousands of Sky Prides were stunned. They had thought that the legendary immortal slaying bandit would be a ferocious burly man or an extremely cruel demon. Who would have thought that the cruel leader of the 13 bandits would be a young girl? However, this young girl exuded the aura of death. Immortal slaying bandit Jiang Xingyi's mouth was full of blood. The hideous wound on his back was also bleeding. Xian Yu's sneak attack had severely injured the immortal slaying bandit. The young girl held the scythe of the Grim Reaper in her hand. Her ink-black hair danced in the wind, and a red spider lily was engraved on her collarbone like the wings of a butterfly. She stood quietly in the sky. Dead silence. No one dared to make a sound. Under the ghost mask, the young girl's gaze fell on Jiang Xingyi. It was extremely cold. It was the gaze of a hunter staring at his prey. Your connate Dao embryo is mine. Xian Yu's voice was as clear as the rain and as cold as the frost. As soon as she finished speaking, Xian Yu's slender feet tapped lightly on the void. Like a ghost, she instantly appeared in front of Jiang Xingyi. The Grim Reaper's scythe in her hand slashed down. It was as if the shadow of death was covering him. Splat! Although Jiang Xingyi tried to resist, he still spat out a mouthful of blood. Tarantula, the army bandit, and the others saw this and also charged forward. Yao Yuekong also attacked. The immortal slaying bandit is really a terrifying character. However, this way Jiang Xingyi will definitely die. Princess Divine Silkworm thought to herself. The aura of the immortal slaying bandit made her feel a strong sense of fear. This was definitely a supreme taboo-level existence. However, what puzzled Princess Divine Silkworm was that she felt a lot of mixed auras on Xianyu. It was as if various bloodlines and constitutions had fused together. This made Princess Divine Silkworm's hair stand on end. What kind of path was he going to take? Chapter 781. Many people had guessed what kind of person the leader of the 13 bandits was. Now, she had finally shown herself, which was beyond everyone's expectations. It wasn't just because the rumored immortal execution bandit was a young girl. It was also because she was so powerful that it made people tremble in fear. I heard that the 13 bandits collected all kinds of talents and blood. Now it seems like they have all been refined by the immortal slaying bandit? That should be the case. Although the aura is powerful, it is also mixed. How is that possible? How can someone refine so many talents and blood? The immortal slaying bandit Xian Yu's cultivation path made many of the Sky Prides tremble in fear. It was a path of slaughter and exploitation. If Xian Yu wanted to improve, she had to kill more people to obtain more bloodlines and talent. No wonder she would attack the divine lady of the Jiang family. The connate Taoist embryo is one of the top talents. The Sky Prides now understood why the immortal slaying bandit would target Jiang Xingyi. To Xian Yu, Jiang Xingyi was a big piece of meat. If the immortal slaying bandit successfully devours the connate Taoist embryo and obtains the sacred body blood essence, then many people thought of the same thing. If she really succeeded, then Xian Yu would become the most powerful person in this era. You are the one who targeted Xiaoyao? Jiang Shengyi endured the pain on her back. Her beautiful eyes were as cold as ice as she looked at the slender figure in the sky. Xian Yu's black hair fluttered in the wind. Only a black silk dress wrapped around her slender body. Her fair arms and legs were wrapped in bandages, which gave her a sickly beauty. You and Jun Xiaoyao must die, Xian Yu said in a cold voice. How dare you? Jiang Shengyi shouted. She gathered her dermic powers and pushed the power of the Khanate Taoist embryo to the maximum. Countless chains of the great Tao appeared around her and shot towards the sky, trying to seal that space. Xian Yu also moved. The death scythe in her hand exuded the aura of a boundary emperor weapon. As the death scythe swung, the chains of the great Tao were broken. Tao sounds rumbled. Boss is here. There is no doubt about the result today. The army bandit sneered. Even without Xian Yu, Jiang Shengyi was at an absolute disadvantage. Now, Xian Yu showed up in person and tried to steal Jiang Shengyi's Khanate Tao embryo. The result was obvious. Next, Tarantula, Army Destroyer, Princess Divine Silkworm, and Yao Yuekong made their moves again. In addition, there was also the terrifying and mysterious immortal slaying bandit Xian Yu. Jiang Shengyi was instantly suppressed to the extreme. It was difficult to even resist. This was especially true for Princess Divine Silkworm and Xian Yu. Their methods were astonishing, causing Jiang Shengyi, who was already heavily injured, to suffer even more injuries. Xingyi Yu Qingning's forbearing voice sounded in Jiang Shengyi's mind. Looking at Jiang Shengyi, who was covered in wounds and whose snow-white clothes were dyed red, Yu Qingning was in great pain. Master, this is Xing Yi's own choice. I don't regret it. Even though she was surrounded and on the verge of despair, Jiang Shengyi still comforted Yu Qingning in her heart. She also knew that due to the suppression of the buried Emperor Star's laws, Yu Qingning couldn't help her. Boom. After another collision, Jiang Shengyi was sent flying like a butterfly with broken wings. Her body was covered in wounds. TSK. Who would have thought that the famous Jiang family's divine daughter would be in such a sorry state? Yao Yuekong revealed a sinister smile. For some reason, looking at the injured Jiang Shengyi, Yao Yuekong felt a kind of sick pleasure in his heart. That kind of mentality was as if since he couldn't obtain something beautiful, he would destroy it. Why would such a peerless beauty fall in love with Jun Xiaoyao? Why would Jun Xiaoyao receive the admiration and worship of so many outstanding women? Yao Yuekong had to admit that he was jealous of Jun Xiaoyao. On the other side, Princess Divine Silkworm had an indifferent expression. In fact, she also wanted to see Jiang Shengyi die with her own eyes. After all, she couldn't tolerate the existence of a woman more outstanding than her. As for Xian Yu, because she was wearing a grimace mask on her face, no one could see her expression. King of Hell's decree, Death God's crossing. Xian Yu's figure flashed, and the Death God's scythe in her hand swept out. The pitch-black scythe light tore through the sky, as if plowing open a crack in the abyss and opening the entrance to hell. Under such a powerful attack, Jiang Shengyi finally couldn't hold on any longer. Her delicate body was sent flying, and she was completely defeated. Was it because she was weak? Not at all. If it were any other outlawed sky prides, it would be difficult for them to face such a situation. After all, Xian Yu, the immortal slaying bandit, alone was enough to deal with an outlawed sky prides. Die. In an instant, Xian Yu's figure flashed, and she appeared in front of Jiang Shengyi as if she had teleported. Then, she stretched out a snow-white arm. Slash. Her jade-like hand pierced Jiang Shengyi's chest. This scene made all the sky prides lose their voices. Their hair stood on end and chills ran down their spines. Asterisk cough asterisk. Asterisk Jiang Shengyi coughed out mouthfuls of blood. The blood dyed her snow-white robe red, and she looked extremely pitiful. She stared at the girl who was so close to her. Under the grimace mask, the girl's eyes were as cold as ice. It was hard to imagine what the girl had gone through to become so cold-blooded and heartless. Pitch-black divine chains of order spread out of Xian Yu's body and penetrated Jiang Xingyi's delicate body. Then, Jiang Xingyi immediately sensed the power of her innate spirit embryo being absorbed by the pitch-black divine chains. It was like a vampire was absorbing the power of Jiang Xingyi's innate spirit embryo. The eerie scene caused the entire place to fall silent. All the sky prides felt a chill run down their spines. Such a method was definitely the most demonic method in the Nine Heavens' immortal realm. Such a cruel method, how is it any different from the creatures of the foreign realm? A sky pride asked in fear. Even Princess Godly Silkworm and Yao Yuekong felt a little uncomfortable after witnessing such a scene. Only Tarantula and Pajuan remained calm. They even had a hint of excitement on their faces. Once Xian Yu absorbed the power of the innate spirit embryo, even Jun Xiaoyao, who was rumored to be unbeatable, would not stand a chance against her. Tarantula and the others were confident in their chances. Is this the only way? Jiang Xingyi felt her consciousness gradually blurring. She had worked hard enough. She had relied on herself all the way from the ultimate ancient road. She did it so she would not be a burden to Jun Xiaoyao in the future. She wanted to be his right-hand woman. It seemed like it was no longer possible now. However, Jiang Xingyi did not regret her decision. Even if she was given another chance, she would still stubbornly walk out of the Nacre Lake. It was her will and determination. Xingyi Yuqingning's sigh appeared in Jiang Xingyi's mind. Sure enough, the situation she was most unwilling to see had happened. Xingyi, how can I let you die here? Yuqingning was determined. She had already mentally prepared herself. If Jiang Xingyi was really in a desperate situation, she would help Jiang Xingyi out of danger even if her soul was scattered. Just as Yuqingning was about to activate the power of her remnant soul, rumble, there was a sudden explosion between heaven and earth, and the sky began to collapse. A huge crack appeared in the void, as if there was an extremely terrifying force breaking through the void. In an instant, the sky above Jiang Xingyi and Xian Yu was split into two by an invisible force. The spatial abyss spanned 100,000 miles across the sky. An incomparably transcendent figure crossed over, as if a god had descended, as if a divine king had descended. A hand of law pressed down as if the sky had collapsed. The terrifying power covered the entire area as if a god was enraged and wanted to destroy all life. How dare you touch Jun Xiaoyao's woman? You're courting death. Chapter 782. His cold shout resounded through the sky for thousands of miles. The terrifying hand of law was like a world crushing down. The void below was directly crushed, revealing pitch-black spatial turbulence. When Xian Yu saw this scene, the cold eyes under the ghost mask flashed slightly, and her figure hurriedly retreated. Boom! The void in that area directly collapsed. The scene was terrifying to the extreme. Violent ripples of magic power surged out with a loud bang. Tarantula, Junpo, Yao Yuekong, and the others were all affected. Their chests were stuffy, and they spat out a mouthful of blood. Their faces were filled with incomparable horror. It was just the aftermath of the move, but it actually caused them to spit out a mouthful of blood? This was ridiculous. Princess Divine Silkworm and Xian Yu also retreated. This fluctuation, could it be that he's here? Princess Divine Silkworm's expression suddenly changed, and there was a trace of unnaturalness. This fluctuation was far beyond her imagination. The sudden scene seemed to make everyone's mind stop for a moment. In the next moment, they saw the white-robed figure stepping out of the crack in the sky. In the dense immortal light, the figure of the Taoist priest stood upright like a true immortal descending into the world. Within the radiance, that handsome and flawless face was ice-cold. Especially when they saw the beauty whose snow-white clothes were dyed red and covered in wounds. A shocking killing intent caused the sky to change color, and the temperature between heaven and earth plummeted. Some of the weak-willed people even almost knelt on the ground. That aura, that killing intent, was so strong that it caused the void to boil. Jun Xiaoyao. Many prodigies spat out the name that shook the ancient road at the same time. There was no need to elaborate on his legend. He was clearly just a young man in his 20s, but he gave people the feeling that he had become a taboo existence that had been recorded in history. At this moment, his arrival suddenly changed the situation of the battle. No one dared to ignore Jun Xiaoyao's power. Sister Xingyi. Jun Xiaoyao flashed and rushed to Jiang Xingyi's side. He wrapped an arm around her slender waist and supported her swaying body. At this moment, Jiang Xingyi's snow-white clothes were completely dyed red. In addition to various wounds, there were also holes on his body. It was Xian Yu, who had absorbed the power of her Khanate Taoist embryo through the black divine chains. But fortunately, Jun Xiaoyao arrived in time, and Jiang Xingyi was not seriously injured. But even so, at this moment, Jiang Xingyi was incomparably bleak, like a withered flower. Seeing that handsome face that she had not seen for a long time, Jiang Xingyi's immortal face revealed a bloodstained smile. She raised her somewhat weak jade arm and stroked Jun Xiaoyao's forehead and the side of his face. It was as if he was trying to draw the outline of the person he liked stroke by stroke. It had only been a few years, but it felt like 3 lifetimes. This might be the so-called, a day apart feels like 3 years. Sister Xingyi, I'm sorry, Jun Xiaoyao said in a low voice. He had thought that Jiang Xingyi was peacefully accepting the inheritance of the Queen Mother of the West, and there should not be any big problems. Who would have thought that he would see Jiang Xingyi in such a miserable state as soon as he arrived? Jun Xiaoyao was not a person who got angry easily. But at this moment, he was really angry. No. Xiaoyao, I should be the one saying sorry. I need you to save me again. Jiang Xingyi smiled feebly. It was the same last time. In order to leave the divine embryo to Jun Xiaoyao, she fought with all her strength. In the end, it was also Jun Xiaoyao who saved the day and killed everyone. From then on, Jiang Xingyi silently swore in her heart that she would work hard to cultivate. She might not be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with Jun Xiaoyao, but at least she had to be qualified to stand beside him and not be a burden to him. As such, she stepped onto the ancient road alone, enduring the torment of her longing and not looking for Jun Xiaoyao. Separation was for the sake of a longer time. But now, it was still Jun Xiaoyao who came to save her. Jiang Xingyi felt very guilty. Looking at the woman in front of him who was seriously injured but still felt guilty, Jun Xiaoyao's pity finally turned into a sigh. Jiang Xingyi was like this. No matter how much she was hurt, she would silently endure it. But for the people she cared about, she would do anything. It was the same for Jun Xiaoyao, and it was the same for Jiang Luoli. Sister Xingyi, you are too silly. Actually, you don't have to do this. Jun Xiaoyao really did not want to see Jiang Xingyi sacrifice herself just to follow in his footsteps. It was not necessary. No, this is my choice. From the moment you left without saying goodbye and stepped onto the ancient road alone, I swore that I would follow by your side. Jiang Xingyi's beautiful eyes were filled with endless longing. She was actually very afraid. She was afraid that one day in the future, a great calamity would descend and Jun Xiaoyao would have to face everything alone. No one would be able to stand by his side. That kind of feeling was too lonely. While it was said that the strong were always lonely, Jiang Xingyi didn't want to have to watch Jun Xiaoyao dominate the world all by himself in the future. Moreover, after seeing the tragic story of the Wu Tian Heavenly Emperor and the Queen Mother of the West, Jiang Xingyi was even more determined. She wanted to be with Jun Xiaoyao for a long time. Seeing the affection flowing silently in the beautiful woman's eyes, Jun Xiaoyao fell silent. Jiang Xingyi cultivated so hard not to prove her Tao or become a heavenly emperor, but to be by his side. Sister Xingyi, recuperate well first. Let me deal with this group of ants first. Jun Xiaoyao forced out some sacred body blood essence from his body and directly fused it with Jiang Xingyi's injured body. Then, he took out some healing sacred medicine for her. After that, Jun Xiaoyao turned around and faced Princess Divine Silkworm and the others. Jiang Xingyi looked at Jun Xiaoyao's silhouette and was stunned for a moment. He said that I'm his woman. When she thought of what Jun Xiaoyao said when he appeared, Jiang Xingyi couldn't help but smile shyly and happily. Although that might have been what Jun Xiaoyao said subconsciously. It was enough to make Jiang Xingyi feel sweet for a long time. Is he Jun Xiaoyao? Yu Qingning finally saw the man her disciple had been longing for. To be honest, seeing was better than hearing 100 times. His temperament was extraordinary. As the former sect master of the Jade Lake, Yu Qingning was a little amazed. In her era, even the most outstanding peerless genius couldn't compare to 1% of the figure in front of her. However, she didn't know how strong he really was. When facing Jiang Xingyi, Jun Xiaoyao's expression was gentle. But when he turned to Princess Divine Silkworm and the others, there was only coldness on his peerless handsome face. It seems that this son of God hasn't killed enough on the ancient road to intimidate you rascals. Extreme killing intent leaked out, and wherever it passed, the air seemed to freeze. Princess Divine Silkworm and the others didn't look too good. As for immortal slaying thief Xianyu, from the moment Jun Xiaoyao appeared, she was in a daze. No, impossible. Absolutely impossible, Xianyu muttered in a voice that only she could hear. The cold eyes under the mask were chaotic and in disbelief. The person in front of her, that face, why did it look similar to the person she had killed with her own hands? In a trance, she seemed to see that figure. The figure that had protected her since she was young. She thought that her heart had died when she killed that person with her own hands. But now, his heart was throbbing silently. Brother! Chapter 783. The face of Jun Xiaoyao in front of her was somewhat similar to that of her brother in Xian Yu's memory. Of course, they were only somewhat similar but not exactly the same. After all, there was no one as handsome as Jun Xiaoyao in the entire world. But even though they were only somewhat similar, it was enough to make Xian Yu lose her mind and feel as if she had been struck by lightning. She had never expected that the person she had made up her mind to kill would be somewhat similar to her brother. The memories that she had buried deep in her heart and didn't want to remember surged out. On the other side, Jun Xiaoyao didn't waste any time and directly made his move. Jun Xiaoyao didn't waste any time on this group of people who wanted to kill Jiang Xingyi. He casually stretched out his hand and the Dharma power of a supreme sage surged out. Ripples appeared in the void and various Dharma lights appeared. At Jun Xiaoyao's level of cultivation, he didn't need to deliberately use any divine powers. His every move was comparable to a divine powers and could destroy heaven and earth. Jun Xiaoyao first stretched out his hand toward Xianyu. It wasn't only because Xianyu had hurt Jiang Xingyi the most. It was also because she had many secrets. For example, she and the 13 bandits were from a force called the Permitha Organization. The Permitha Organization was a force under the command of the Emperor family of the foreign lands. In addition, this girl was wearing a familiar ghost mask. There was also a scarlet-red spider lily engraved on her collarbone. Jun Xiaoyao felt that he should be able to find out some secrets from this girl. Besides, there was another important point. That was, this girl was one of the 7 defiant sovereigns. Based on this point alone, Jun Xiaoyao had no reason not to kill her. However, facing Jun Xiaoyao's attack, Xianyu was still in a trance as if she had fallen into some kind of nightmare. This girl? Xianyu's indifference made Jun Xiaoyao frown slightly. What was this immortal slaying bandit trying to do? As one of the 7 defiant sovereigns, she should be more than happy to attack him. Boss Xianyu. When the greedy wolf bandit and broken army bandits saw that Mystic Moon was not moving, their expressions changed. In a flash, they appeared in front of Xianyu. A mantis trying to stop a chariot. You overestimate yourself. Jun Xiaoyao snorted. His palm was surrounded by qi and blood of the sacred body and deity aura. It was like the hand of God. Puff. The 2 bandits retreated at the same time. The Army Destroyer Bandit, whose cultivation was slightly weaker, exploded under this palm. Even his primordial spirit could not escape and was crushed into nothingness. There were no moves or divine abilities. It was just a simple palm strike. The Army Destroyer Bandits had fallen, and Tarantula had suffered heavy losses. His countless gasps could be heard from all directions. Tarantula and Army Destroyer were not at the level of supreme outlawed sky prides, but it wasn't much weaker. But now, in Jun Xiaoyao's hands, he couldn't even last one round. When Princess Divine Silkworm saw this scene, a strong sense of uneasiness arose in her heart. She seemed to have misjudged Jun Xiaoyao's strength. Even Yao Yuekong, who looked down on Jun Xiaoyao in the beginning, was completely speechless at this moment. He now felt that his relationship with Princess Divine Silkworm was just as Jiang Xingyi had said. A frog at the bottom of a well did not know the vastness of the ocean. Some of the Army Destroyer Bandit's blood splattered on Mystic Moon's body. She finally came back to her senses. In the blink of an eye, the Army Destroyer Bandit had fallen, and Tarantula had suffered heavy losses. However, Mystic Moon's cold eyes did not waver at all. So what if they were dead? Mystic Moon had no feelings for her subordinate. In other words, ever since she killed her brother with her own hands, she no longer had any human feelings. But now, when she saw that familiar handsome face again, she couldn't help but wonder. Mystic Moon's dead heart seemed to have skipped a beat. "Boss Mystic Moon!" Tarantula shouted. He did not understand why his boss was not doing anything. Wasn't she one of the 7 rebellious sovereigns? Logically speaking, she should be more determined to kill Jun Xiaoyao. However, Jun Xiaoyao would not give them any more time. "Are you still trying to be mysterious in front of the Son of God?" Jun Xiaoyao's lips curled into a cold smile. For some reason, when she looked at Jun Xiaoyao's cold and indifferent eyes, Mystic Moon suddenly felt a stabbing pain in her heart. It was as if the people closest to her had turned against each other. "Why? He's the one I should kill." Mystic Moon's slender hand, which was wrapped in bandages, held the death scythe tightly. Her previous plan was to integrate with the seal of Proving Way and obtain the innate embryo of Taoism. Then, she would kill Jun Xiaoyao and integrate with the sacred body of the ancient. After attaining the supreme physique, she would be crowned with the heavenly crown. Finally, she would return to the foreign realm and step on the reincarnation cycle to the other side. But now, after seeing Jun Xiaoyao, Mystic Moon's cold and ruthless heart was disturbed for the first time. She suddenly felt a little lost. But now, Jun Xiaoyao would not give her a chance to think. Jun Xiaoyao threw another punch at Yi Futian. The glow of his fist lit up the sky like a bolt of lightning. The Kuan Pring Infinite Divine Fist was performed. The huge shadow of the Kuan Pring filled the sky. With a flick of its tail, tens of thousands of runes rippled. "Go!" Yao Yuekong and Princess Divine Silkworm also knew that the situation was not good. If they still held back at this time, they would really be courting death. Behind Princess Divine Silkworm's head, 9 divine halos flickered with immortal light. 9 colored divine light surged out. The runes that covered the sky and earth shot out in the form of 9 colored threads, as if they were going to seal the forbidden land. Yao Yuekong also used his trump card, casting the Heaven Fei Ancient Temple's Fei Emperor Immortal Sutra. An illusory demon Emperor Dharma idol appeared. Demonic aura surged into the 9 heavens imperial court. Tarantula, who was severely injured, also spared no effort and performed the ultimate move, Blood Wolf Swallows the Moon. Mystic Moon, who had been motionless all this time, finally moved. She brandished the death scythe. However, compared to when she attacked Jiang Xingyi, the power of Mystic Moon's attack was clearly much weaker. The 4 young powerhouses collided with Jun Xiaoyao's single move. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the battle. Although Jiang Xingyi was strong, he did not have the strength to resist when facing the combined forces of these people. Now, if it was Jun Xiaoyao, what would the result be? Boom! A deafening sound rumbled. Dermic powers stirred up a monstrous wave that washed out. Just the fluctuation alone was enough to send a quasi-sage flying backward while vomiting blood. Under such a collision, the result was, Tarantula's body exploded. Unable to withstand the pressure, his essence soul cracked and he perished completely. Yao Yuekong also coughed out large mouthfuls of blood. He had completely lost his bearing as a young taboo of the ancient Heaven Fei Temple. As for Princess Divine Silkworm and Mystic Moon, they had the highest cultivation levels among the group. However, they were still sent retreating. Princess Divine Silkworm felt her blood churning in her chest. A mouthful of blood surged up her throat before she swallowed it. In contrast, Jun Xiaoyao's white robes fluttered as he looked peerless. Powerful, still powerful. Invincible, still invincible. You have to pay the price for doing something wrong, right? Jun Xiaoyao's cold voice resounded throughout the world. He slowly extended his palm and grabbed at the void. A mysterious runic mark appeared. Jun Xiaoyao closed his fingers and pinched the runic mark. Instantly, the runic mark transformed into a battle axe that was held in Jun Xiaoyao's hand. A terrifying emperor's aura emerged as if it could split open the primordial chaos. That aura made everyone tremble. Many geniuses trembled under the emperor's aura. It was the ancient chaos axe that was formed by the emperor's weapon imprint. Sacred Body of the Ancients. /book/83964/ Chapter 784. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao was holding the ancient chaos axe. He was like a deity in the myths and legends who created the world. That aura seemed to be able to crush the heavens. The Emperor's aura shook the clouds and clouds. Even the entire buried Emperor star seemed to be trembling slightly. Gloomy chains of order appeared to prevent unreasonable powers from appearing. The entire buried Emperor star was originally a place of inheritance left behind by the ancestors for the future generations. Naturally, it would not allow too powerful forces to appear. That was also the reason why Yu Qingning could not make a move. Now, Jun Xiaoyao was holding the ancient chaos axe, which had vaguely caused the laws of the buried Emperor star to suppress it. From this, one could see how powerful Jun Xiaoyao's aura was at this moment. Even the heavens and earth were afraid of it. That is the ancient Chaos Emperor's imperial weapon, the ancient Chaos Axe. Could it be that the son of God of the Jun family has obtained the inheritance of the ancient Chaos Emperor? All the Sky Prides were stunned and took a deep breath. Not everyone knew that Jun Xiaoyao had obtained the inheritance of the ancient Chaos Emperor. At this moment, the appearance of the imperial weapon naturally shocked everyone. No, that's not right. Although it has the power of an imperial weapon, it is not real. That is a mark. Soon, some of the Sky Prides reacted. In the buried Emperor star, if a real imperial weapon was used, it would definitely cause the laws of suppression. Besides, even if an ordinary person obtained an imperial weapon, it would be difficult for them to use it. Even the current Jun Xiaoyao was unable to bring out the true power of the imperial weapon. Although it is only a mark, it is already terrifying enough, said a Sky Pride with trembling eyes. The imperial weapon mark could borrow a part of the imperial weapon's power. Although it was not much, it was definitely a powerful weapon for cultivators below the 9th level of the Sage Realm. Furthermore, one must not forget that it was Jun Xiaoyao who had unleashed the imperial armament imprint. With Jun Xiaoyao's terrifying strength, he could fully unleash the power of the imperial weapon mark. This was the most frightening part of it all. Yao Yuekong's complexion turned deathly pale as he felt the terrifying emperor's might. He had lost all color. Jun Xiaoyao, who was already invincible, and the imperial weapon mark of the ancient Chaos Act. What the F***ck, this is a hell mode boss. Among the younger generation of the 9 Heavens Immortal Realm, who could possibly stand a chance against Jun Xiaoyao? Even the 2 outlawed Sky Prides, Princess Divine Silkworm and Xianyu, were not enough. This axe strike will let you all understand that you would rather provoke the heavens than provoke me. As soon as Jun Xiaoyao finished speaking, he activated the divine power in his body and the sacred body of the ancients. The great overarching, undying immortal body and the 36 Sumeru worlds were activated. All sorts of dermic powers and divine abilities were infused into the axe. Jun Xiaoyao's move was to establish his authority. It was better to be enemies with the heavens than with him. As for the people around Jun Xiaoyao, they were even more untouchable. If they provoked him, they would have to pay the price in blood. Boom! Jun Xiaoyao held the chaotic ancient axe in his hand and chopped down. Jun Xiaoyao's own strength combined with the Emperor's might of the ancient chaos axe. That might was simply indescribable with words. The vast axe light covered the sky and split the heavens. The earth within 10,000 miles was about to split open, and huge cracks that were hundreds of feet deep spread out. The heavens rumbled and the land collapsed. Even the sky above the buried Emperor's star had all sorts of rule runes appearing from time to time. This meant that Jun Xiaoyao's current combat strength was almost about to trigger the suppression of the buried Emperor Star's laws. What kind of fluctuation is that? Could it be that an honorable big shot has violated the buried Emperor Star's laws and entered it? No, there's Emperor's might. Could it be that someone has activated an Emperor weapon? Sky prides from various continents throughout the buried Emperor Star looked up at the sky, their faces full of shock. Retreat. At the ancient jade pool, the sky prides from all directions quickly retreated. Even if they were only slightly affected by such an attack, they would lose half their lives. Damn it! Yao Yuekong's face was distorted as he let out a fierce roar. It was too late to escape now, so he could only fight with his life. Shifter Emperor descends. Yao Yuekong used the ultimate move of the Shifter Emperor's immortal scripture. The blood in his body boiled and burned as if his entire body was being sacrificed. In the void, a majestic blood-colored Shifter Emperor's shadow appeared. Vaguely, it also emitted a faint Emperor's might. The Shifter Emperor of the Shifter race was also a legendary existence. It was a taboo existence in ancient history. Divine Silkworm 9 Transformations. Princess Divine Silkworm also used her trump card. Previously, she naively thought that even if Jun Xiaoyao was very strong, she could still deal with him calmly. Now, she understood that she was still too young and had not experienced a vicious beating. As for Xianyu, under the mask, her cold moon-like eyes flashed with a trace of ripples. That was clearly the enemy she should kill, but she hesitated. Boom! The two ultimate moves collided, setting off a storm of magical power. The earth was torn apart and the mountains collapsed. In the entire ancient jade pool, other than the jade pool that was still intact under the protection of the rune barrier, the other places were in a mess. Many sky prides who had already hidden far away were affected by the shockwave. They vomited blood and were thrown to the ground. When the immortals fought, the mortals suffered. There was a price to pay for watching the show. After a single move, a 10,000-mile-long canyon appeared on the ground, extending all the way to the horizon. The entire continent was almost split in half by Jun Xiaoyao's axe. This was still under the suppression of the buried Emperor Star's laws. Otherwise, it was not impossible for the entire buried Emperor Star to be split in half. After all, there was already a precedent. The Conqueror Star was split in half by Jun Xiaoyao. After the smoke dissipated, the ground was in a mess. The sky prides who were far away got a little closer. However, the scene they saw made them all fall silent. Yao Yuekong's body was covered in blood. His body was in pieces, and he collapsed in a pool of blood. He was almost on his last breath. His devilishly handsome face was now covered in blood, and it was extremely twisted. How is this possible? A thick sense of regret filled Yao Yuekong's eyes. If he could do it all over again, he would definitely not have provoked Jiang Shengyi with Princess Divine Silkworm. What was that saying again? A bootlicker would die a horrible death. Men who bootlick women would not have a good ending. A moment later, Yao Yuekong stopped breathing. His primordial spirit had long been shattered by the ancient chaotic axis fluctuations. On the other side, Princess Divine Silkworm was even more shocking. This was because the originally beautiful Princess Divine Silkworm was no longer there. Instead, it was replaced by a golden silkworm with 9 colored divine halos on its surface. At this moment, this golden silkworm was also covered in injuries. Its pair of big crystal eyes were filled with fear. However, she was severely injured and could not move. This Princess Divine Silkworm was actually beaten back to her original form? All the Sky Prides were stunned. Jun Xiaoyao had beaten Princess Divine Silkworm back to her original form with a single act. This was a bit ridiculous. I understand now. Rumor has it that the Divine Silkworm race will activate their defense mechanism when they are on the verge of death and shed their silkworm body. If they can survive, they might continue to transform. Princess Divine Silkworm had already transformed 9 times. If she continues to transform, could she become a 10 transformation Divine Silkworm? Many Sky Prides were surprised. As a top-notch Archean royalty, the Divine Silkworm race naturally had their unique points. Jun Xiaoyao's axe had directly beaten Princess Divine Silkworm to the brink of death, which triggered the transformation mechanism. I see. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were indifferent. He didn't care at all. Finally, he looked at Xian Yu again. To his surprise, although Xian Yu was also injured, she was obviously slightly better. As expected of one of the 7 defiant sovereigns, she was indeed different from ordinary Sky Prides. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were deep as he said indifferently, refining 10,000 bloodlines into one's body. This path is indeed not bad, but unfortunately, it's going to end today. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. Looking at Jun Xiaoyao, for some reason, Xian Yu felt a stabbing pain in her heart. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes, which were filled with hostility and murderous intent, were an eyesore to her. She felt inexplicably uncomfortable. Xian Yu clenched her jade-like hands tightly. Her nails pierced her palms and blood dripped down, but she didn't realize it. Chapter 785. Jun Xiaoyao continued to attack, charging at Xian Yu with the ancient axe of chaos in his hand. The resplendent axe light tore through the sky. A single strike of the axe could easily kill a saint. Even a saint king would be half dead. However, Xian Yu was very powerful. As the leader of the 13 bandits, she had walked the path of refining tens of thousands of bloodlines. She seemed to be similar to a certain taboo existence in ancient history. In addition, Xian Yu was one of the 7 defiant sovereigns. She had fused with a seal of proving Tao, which made her strength soar. It could be said that Xian Yu was one of the most powerful cultivators among the younger generation on the ancient road of ultimate. Other than that, the Grimace Mask had always been of interest to Jun Xiaoyao. He decided to suppress Xian Yu first and find out all the secrets behind her. Then, he would kill her. The axe aura pierced through the sky, tearing the void apart. Jun Xiaoyao was like a primordial god from ancient myths, who was about to reopen the world. Under such attacks, Xian Yu was forced to retreat. However, what puzzled everyone was that Xian Yu did not take the initiative to attack. She had been defending herself. What's going on? Many geniuses were puzzled. The immortal slaying bandit's actions were very puzzling. Could it be that she doesn't want to attack because the son of God of the Jun family is so handsome? Someone complained. Impossible. Some geniuses shook their heads seriously. The immortal slaying bandit's methods were cruel and cruel. Previously, she had stabbed her hand into Jiang Xingyi's chest in front of all the geniuses and absorbed the power of the connate embryo of Tao with a secret technique. How could such a cruel and inhumane girl be so shallow? However, what no one expected was that Xian Yu could not do it because of Jun Xiaoyao's face. It was not because of how handsome Jun Xiaoyao was, but because of the similarity between his eyes and eyebrows. Xian Yu kept thinking about the past that she did not want to recall. What's wrong with this woman? Jun Xiaoyao also felt that something was wrong. She did not seem to want to attack. Instead, she seemed to be hesitating. This was not the behavior of one of the 7 defiant sovereigns. Logically speaking, as one of the 7 defiant emperors, they should be happy to deal with him. Just as Jun Xiaoyao was about to seal the space with the 4th seal of the Immortal Prohibition seal, however, Xian Yu suddenly retreated. You want to run now? Jun Xiaoyao sneered with a playful look in his eyes. He swung the chaotic ancient axe with one hand and punched out the 6 paths of reincarnation fist with the other. The surging waves wanted to destroy everything in front of it, and the space was torn apart. Around Xian Yu's body, all sorts of lights appeared. 5-colored divine light, void ripple, dark light beam, etc. This scene stunned all the sky prides. That is the power of the 5 elemental Dao bones? There's also the fluctuation of the void emperor physique? That's the ability of the heavenly devil eyes. The multicolored brilliance on Xian Yu's body was a type of physique and the power of her precious blood. Any one of them was enough to create a top-notch heaven's favorite. However, all these innate abilities were concentrated on Xian Yu alone. This path was terrifying to the extreme. Many sky prides came to a realization. Previously, it was rumored that the immortal bandit could kill an outlawed sky prides like eating and drinking. Now, it seemed that it was not an exaggeration at all. Ordinary sky prides would definitely not be able to withstand Jun Xiaoyao's attack. Even the supreme outlawed sky prides would be injured. However, Xian Yu only coughed up a mouthful of blood. Blood dripped from under her mask. The void around her cracked. That was the fluctuation of the void emperor physique. Jun Xiaoyao had encountered such a physique before. Xian Yu's body seemed to have melted into the void, and she quickly retreated. No one who I, the Son of God, want to suppress can escape. Jun Xiaoyao used his Kunping steps and was about to give chase. However, at this moment Jiang Xingyi shouted, "Xiaoyao, wait!" Jun Xiaoyao stopped in his tracks. Jiang Xingyi must have something to tell him. At this moment, Xian Yu's body disappeared into the spatial crack. Jun Xiaoyao frowned for a bit, but his frown quickly disappeared. Since Xian Yu had merged with the Emperor's seal of doctrine and became one of the 7 defiant sovereigns, she would definitely come looking for him in the future. This was not only due to Xian Yu's own will, but also the immortal domain's will. Since she had benefited and merged with the Emperor's seal of doctrine, she would definitely do something. If he didn't do anything, even God wouldn't be able to bear it. It was impossible for him to waste a spot among the 7 rebellious emperors. Therefore, Xian Yu would still come looking for him when the time came. Jun Xiaoyao was not in a hurry. "Sister Xingyi, what's the matter?" Jun Xiaoyao came to Jiang Xingyi. Luoli entered the gate of life and death. Jiang Xingyi's snow-white clothes were stained with blood. Her face was pale, and she looked very weak. However, she was still worried about Jiang Luoli. She was afraid that something would happen to her. What? Luoli entered the gate of life and death? Jun Xiaoyao was also surprised and frowned. Although this was the first time that Jun Xiaoyao had come to the buried Emperor Star, he had heard of the Gate of Life and Death. This was one of the most famous and dangerous opportunities on the buried Emperor Star. Since ancient times, very few geniuses had been able to walk out of it. Jun Xiaoyao was reminded of that petite and adorable girl who had never grown tall in 10,000 years. With her personality, why would she enter the Gate of Life and Death? She was forced by Tarantula and the others. "Xiaoyao, quickly go and take a look. If something happened to Luoli," Jiang Xingyi said anxiously. If it wasn't for her serious injuries, she would have gone personally. It was because she could not move that she stopped Jun Xiaoyao and asked him to go and take a look. "Sister Xingyi, don't be anxious. Don't you believe in Luoli?" Jun Xiaoyao was calmer than Jiang Xingyi. If something really happened to Jiang Luoli, Jun Xiaoyao might be able to sense it. At the very least, he would feel uneasy. However, that feeling did not appear. This meant that at least for now, Jiang Luoli was not in danger. I believe you, but… Jiang Shengyi wanted to say something, but stopped. Sister Shengyi, don't be anxious. I will go to the gate of life and death to find out Luoli's whereabouts. She will be fine, Jun Xiaoyao comforted. Okay. With Xiaoyao here, I am relieved. Jiang Shengyi relaxed a little. She also reacted. Jiang Luoli was not the same as before. She shouldn't be in danger. Oh, no wonder Shengyi is so fond of him. My disciple has good taste. He is truly an extraordinary young master. At this time, a slightly illusory figure appeared. Her face was graceful, her eyebrows were picturesque, and her figure was plump. She had a mature and beautiful charm. It was Yu Qingning. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes dimmed. Ring auntie? No, it should be big sister Ring. Xiaoyao greets senior. It seems that Sister Shengyi has her own destiny. Jun Xiaoyao cupped his hands slightly, gentle and elegant. What a lovely little guy. Yu Qingning smiled. At first, Yu Qingning was very curious about the person Jiang Shengyi said she was thinking about day and night. After all, for such an excellent woman like Jiang Shengyi to be able to make her think about him day and night, how outstanding must he be? Until now, when she saw Jun Xiaoyao. He had a peerless appearance and incredible combat strength. In Yu Qingning's era, there was no one like him. Even some of the great emperors of the ancient times couldn't compare to Jun Xiaoyao when they were young. To be honest, if Jun Xiaoyao appeared in Yu Qingning's era, Yu Qingning would definitely fall in love with Jun Xiaoyao. After all, such an excellent man was rare in the world. I almost forgot something. Senior, Sister Shengyi, please wait a moment. Jun Xiaoyao seemed to have thought of something. He turned around and looked at the little thing on the ground that was struggling to escape. Jun Xiaoyao went forward and picked it up. It was Princess Divine Silkworm who had been beaten back to her original form. The whole book. Chapter 786. At this moment, Princess Celestial Silkworm had turned into a chubby golden silkworm. Her big eyes were filled with fear as she struggled between Jun Xiaoyao's fingers. Jun Xiaoyao, let go of me. Although the golden silkworm couldn't speak, she could release her divine will. Looking at the Princess Divine Silkworm, who had been beaten back to her original form and was being toyed with by Jun Xiaoyao, all the geniuses present had complicated feelings. Princess Divine Silkworm, the famous 9 transformations celestial silkworm, who was revered as a goddess by countless people, had been reduced to such a state in front of Jun Xiaoyao. How could the word miserable be enough? She was really being played by Jun Xiaoyao, and it wasn't an exaggeration. Let go of you? You forced Sister Shengyi into such a miserable state and you still want to be forgiven? Jun Xiaoyao smiled. His smile meant that the situation wasn't good for the enemy. Jun Xiaoyao, you have already provoked enough enemies. Do you want to add another Divine Silkworm Valley? Princess Divine Silkworm transmitted her divine will. Jun Xiaoyao sighed and shook his head with a smile. What he didn't care about the least was the threat from the background. Jun Xiaoyao slowly closed his fingers. Princess Divine Silkworm instantly felt an overwhelming pressure crushing down on her, and her silkworm body was about to explode. This feeling was just like in the myths and legends, where a certain demon tribe stone monkey was suppressed by the 5-finger mountain formed by the 5 fingers of a supreme mythical emperor of the Buddhist lineage. Jun Xiaoyao, stop. What do you want? Princess Divine Silkworm screamed with her divine will. She couldn't bear such a humiliating death. She was squashed to death by Jun Xiaoyao like a bug. What should I do? Jun Xiaoyao was also pondering. At this moment, a dense group of figures appeared in the distant sky again. They were led by Ascendant King, Yu Yunchang, and the others. Brother Jun, you are really fast. It seems like I missed another good show. Ascendant King was wearing a snow-white crane cloak. Even his shoes and socks were white. His silver hair fluttered in the wind, and he looked very handsome. Yu Yunchang, who was at the side, blinked her eyes and looked at the mess in front of her. She was very curious about what she had missed. It's Ascendant King. I didn't expect to see so many top-notch monsters today, the Sky Prides exclaimed. That silkworm in your hand, could it be? Ascendant King looked at Jun Xiaoyao's palm and was stunned for a moment. Just a naughty little bug, Jun Xiaoyao said as he pinched Princess Divine Silkworm's body. Ah, Princess screamed with her divine will. It was unimaginable that she would lose her composure. With her personality, it was simply too humiliating to be called a bug by Jun Xiaoyao. Not only that, but she was also being toyed with and touched all over her body. Although it was, she could still had senses as senses. And she was. At this moment, Princess Divine Silkworm wanted to die. If the one beside me wasn't that trash Yao Yuekong, but someone like Jun Xiaoyao, how could I have lost so miserably? Princess Divine Silkworm thought in her heart. For a moment, she was a little envious and jealous of Jiang Xingyi. She was lucky to have such a powerful man protecting her. Ascendant King learned about what had happened from the Sky Prides. His handsome face was stunned for a moment before he shook his head with a bitter smile. It's really tragic to offend Brother Jun. As for Yu Yunchang, her eyes were flickering with splendor. Jun Xiaoyao had just defeated the 10 princes of Jinwu and the others. Now, he had defeated the immortal extermination bandit, Princess Divine Silkworm, and the others. Was he really invincible on the ancient road? Even the supreme taboo couldn't stop Jun Xiaoyao's attacks. Beauties loved heroes. Furthermore, Jun Xiaoyao could no longer be described as a mere hero. He was an unparalleled legend. Yu Yunchang's eyes were filled with love, and her heart was thumping wildly. Previously, she had fallen in love at first sight and was a little tempted. At the moment, she was completely captivated by Jun Xiaoyao's charm. At this moment, Yu Yunchang, who was immersed in her fantasy, was awakened by the cold reality. Sister Xingyi, you can decide. Princess Divine Silkworm. Jun Xiaoyao walked to Jiang Xingyi's side and said gently. Yu Yunchang's beautiful face was a little dazed. This was the first time she heard Jun Xiaoyao speak to someone with such a gentle voice. In her heart, Jun Xiaoyao had always been a cold and aloof moonlight. He was high and mighty, and she felt that he was unreachable. Yu Yunchang followed the voice and saw a peerless beauty in a blood-stained white robe. Even though they were both women, Yu Yunchang's beautiful eyes were filled with amazement. Jiang Xingyi's eyes were clear, and her face was as beautiful as a painting. Her paleness and weakness didn't diminish her charm. Instead, it added a bit of heart-wrenching beauty. Not to mention men, even a woman like Yu Yunchang would feel pity for her. She is the goddess of the Jiang family? She is indeed as beautiful as the rumors say, Yu Yunchang said absent-mindedly. Sigh, you silly girl. Feather King patted Yu Yunchang's shoulder. As a brother and sister, how could he not see through Yu Yunchang's intentions? However, Feather King had to admit that Jun Xiaoyao was indeed outstanding. It was reasonable for his sister to be attracted to him. However, Feather King sighed inwardly. On the other side, Jun Xiaoyao handed the fate of Princess Divine Silkworm to Jiang Xingyi. Although Jiang Xingyi hated Princess Divine Silkworm for her scheming and adding insult to injury, she was still a Princess Divine Silkworm. However, she was still the princess of the Divine Silkworm Valley. If Jun Xiaoyao were to kill her, he would undoubtedly make another enemy. Although Jun Xiaoyao didn't care, Jiang Xingyi wasn't willing to cause trouble for Jun Xiaoyao. Why don't we let her off this time? Jiang Xingyi suggested. Jun Xiaoyao's expression didn't change. He knew that Jiang Xingyi wasn't a saint. She just didn't want to cause trouble for him. At this point, Jiang Xingyi was still wholeheartedly thinking for him. As for Princess Divine Silkworm in Jun Xiaoyao's hand, she was a little surprised. This woman. Princess Divine Silkworm fell silent. She didn't expect Jiang Xingyi to actually say that she would let her off. For a moment, Princess Divine Silkworm had a complicated feeling in her heart. Jun Xiaoyao naturally wouldn't let Princess Divine Silkworm off so easily. His eyes flickered as he thought of something. Why don't Big Sister Xingyi plant a slave imprint on her? A 9 transformations celestial silkworm with the potential to continue evolving is qualified to be a pet. Treat it as atonement for her own sins. Jun Xiaoyao's words immediately stunned everyone. Good Lord, planting a slave imprint on Princess Divine Silkworm. Did he really not treat a supreme outlawed sky pride as a human? Oh, Princess Divine Silkworm wasn't a human to begin with. That was fine. Brother Jun's idea is really, strange. The Ascendant Monarch was also a little embarrassed. No one else would treat a supreme outlawed sky pride as a pet. Jiang Xingyi pursed her lips and smiled. She thought of Jun Xiaoyao's habit of taking in slaves when he was in the Huangtian mystic realm. Although he usually only took in beautiful female slaves. However, Jiang Xingyi didn't refuse. She wasn't a saint. She naturally had to pay the price for her wrongdoings. You only have 2 choices now. Die, or release the primordial spirit restriction and let Big Sister Xingyi plant a slave imprint on you, Jun Xiaoyao said indifferently. Princess Divine Silkworm's main body trembled. She knew that if she dared to say no, Jun Xiaoyao would definitely kill her. In the entire 9 heavens and 10 earths, there was no one that Jun Xiaoyao wouldn't dare to kill. I'm willing, Princess Divine Silkworm said in humiliation and released the primordial spirit restriction. Jiang Xingyi also condensed a slave imprint and planted it. Princess Divine Silkworm paid the price for her actions and became Jiang Xingyi's pet. Jiang Xingyi could decide her life and death with a single thought. Chapter 787. Sister Xingyi, your injuries. Looking at Jiang Xingyi's injuries, Jun Xiaoyao frowned. Even with the help of the Sacred Physique's blood essence, Jiang Xingyi still couldn't recover in a short time. At this moment, Yu Qingning said, "Don't worry. As long as Xingyi fully receives the Jade Pool's baptism and refines the Tribulation Transcendence Lotus, not only will her injuries be healed, but her talent and cultivation level will also transform again." That's good. Sister Xingyi, hurry up and refine the fortuitous opportunity here. I want to see who dares to snatch it from you. Jun Xiaoyao looked around. The surrounding prodigies, who were originally waiting to scavenge for scraps, all took a step back subconsciously. Although the Jade Pool's baptism and the Tribulation Transcendence Lotus were tempting, it depended on whether one was alive to take them. After seeing how Jun Xiaoyao dealt with Princess Divine Silkworm and the others, only a fool would covet the Queen Mother's fortuitous opportunity. Those who have nothing to do scram. Jun Xiaoyao flung his sleeves, and the surrounding thousands of prodigies hurriedly retreated. They didn't dare to stay any longer. Only the Ascendant King, Yu Yunchang, and the others remained where they were. Sister Xingyi, go ahead, Jun Xiaoyao said. Jiang Xingyi nodded slightly. She had seen everything that Jun Xiaoyao had done for her. Although in the eyes of outsiders, she had done a lot for Jun Xiaoyao. When had Jun Xiaoyao ever let her down? It was just that Jun Xiaoyao had his own path to walk and didn't have the time to be in love for the time being. Xiaoyao, don't forget about Luoli, Jiang Xingyi reminded him again. I understand. Jun Xiaoyao smiled. Jiang Xingyi glanced at Jun Xiaoyao, then suddenly went forward and threw herself into Jun Xiaoyao's arms. She hugged Jun Xiaoyao's body tightly with her jade-like arms. Her forceful posture made it seem as if she was trying to merge Jun Xiaoyao and her together. Sister Xingyi? Xiaoyao, next time, don't leave without saying goodbye. I'm scared. Jiang Xingyi's voice sounded like she was about to cry. Only she knew that when she woke up in the morning and discovered that Jun Xiaoyao had already stepped onto the ancient ultimate road by himself, she was shocked. That deep sense of loss and sorrow almost hollowed out her heart. I'm sorry, Sister Xingyi. It won't happen again. Jun Xiaoyao also put his arm around Jiang Xingyi's shoulder. She was a mature and intelligent woman who could face everything with tenacity, no matter what kind of desperate situation she was in. But because he left without saying goodbye, she was heartbroken and shed tears. This was enough to prove that Jun Xiaoyao had an absolutely central position in Jiang Xingyi's heart. No one could compare to him. Yu Yunchang didn't know why, but she suddenly felt that her love at first sight had been so superficial as she watched the couple embrace each other. Her eyes also turned red. "All right, Xiaoyao, go and find Luoli." Jiang Xingyi reluctantly let go of his arm. A drop of crystal tear hung on her long, curled eyelashes that were like butterfly wings. She stared at Jun Xiaoyao with her beautiful eyes. She seemed to have something to say, but stopped on second thought. "Forget it. I'd better not tell Xiaoyao. I don't want him to worry." Jiang Xingyi sighed inwardly. She originally wanted to tell Jun Xiaoyao about the Queen Mother of the West and Emperor Wu Yan in the illusion, because it might be a way to cultivate the innate sacred body of Tao. Jun Xiaoyao's complete version of the sacred body of the ancients was already monstrous enough. If he cultivated the innate sacred body of Tao, it would be absolutely unprecedented and unparalleled. Even Emperor Wu Yan couldn't compare to him. But when she thought that this might make Jun Xiaoyao worry about her, Jiang Xingyi didn't say much. This was a secret that she kept in the bottom of her heart. If there really was such a day, Jiang Xingyi gave Jun Xiaoyao a pale smile. Without saying anything, she turned around and entered the fairy pool. They had not seen each other for a long time. Just a hug was enough to contain everything. "Brother Jun, don't worry. I don't mind staying here for a while." The Feather King smiled. "Thank you." Jun Xiaoyao nodded. He understood that the Feather King wanted to protect the severely injured Jiang Xingyi. With the Feather King, a supreme outlawed sky pride around, there wouldn't be any sky prides who would be foolish enough to disturb Jiang Xingyi's cultivation. "Don't worry. With us around, no one will disturb her." Yu Yunchang shouted. Thank you." Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly and nodded at Yu Yunchang. Yu Yunchang felt a sweetness in her heart and blushed. As expected, she still wanted to be Jun Xiaoyao's concubine. Jun Xiaoyao left and headed to the Gate of Life and Death to check on Jiang Luoli's situation. Meanwhile, the Feather King and Yu Yunchang stayed behind to protect Jiang Xingyi. Princess Divine Silkworm, who had transformed into her true form, became obedient. Her life and death were in Jiang Xingyi's hands. However, compared to the others, Princess Divine Silkworm was extremely lucky to be alive. "I didn't expect the immortal slaying bandit to be able to escape. However, with her strength, she won't be able to defeat Jun Xiaoyao." Princess Divine Silkworm sighed in her heart. After being beaten up by Jun Xiaoyao, she was now completely submissive to him. On the other side, in a hidden ancient cave, a slender figure stumbled into the cave. It was the immortal slaying bandit Xian Yu. She held onto the cave wall with one hand and took off the grimace mask on her face with the other. The moment she took off the mask, blood dripped down. A blood-stained face was revealed. Her facial features were exquisite and her brows were picturesque. It was a pretty face that could make any man's heart flutter. Perhaps no one would have thought that the cruel and merciless immortal slaying bandit, whose hands were stained with the blood of countless sky prides, would have such a beautiful face under the grimace mask. Her face was exceptionally beautiful, but her skin was as pale as snow and didn't have the slightest trace of blood. What was more noteworthy was that there was a little blood tear mole at the corner of her eye. It was like a drop of blood tear. This little blood tear mole caused the young lady's already delicate and beautiful face to become even more poignant and moving. At this moment, Xian Yu was coughing up blood. She stumbled into the blood pool in the depths of the cave and fell into it. The pitch-black divine chains of order appeared and absorbed all kinds of precious blood in the blood pool. Xian Yu's injuries finally stabilized. Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao. Xian Yu repeated this name repeatedly as if she was possessed. It was not only because Jun Xiaoyao was the first person to hurt her like this. It was also because of the familiarity in the corner of his eyes and brows. When she saw Jun Xiaoyao looking at her with a cold and merciless gaze and attacking her in order to protect the woman in the snow-white dress, Xian Yu felt that she was in a daze. She couldn't tell if it was jealousy or some other emotion, but her heart hurt as if it was being pricked by needles. That feeling was as if the person closest to her had been snatched away by someone else and hurt her in return. No, he's not. It's just an illusion. My brother is dead. I killed him with my own hands. Xian Yu raised her slightly trembling jade-like hands. The memories that had been buried deep in her heart surged out once again like a nightmare. She didn't believe that a second flower would bloom in the world. However, the woman from the Nirvana organization told her that as long as she succeeded, she could go to the reincarnation cave of the Nirvana emperors of the foreign realm. She might be able to make up for the regrets of the past. However, if she wanted to transform herself to the extreme and reach the peak, she had to integrate all kinds of supreme physique. The innate Taoist embryo and the sacred body of the ancients were undoubtedly the most supreme physique. In addition, she had integrated the seal of proving Tao and was one of the 7 defiant sovereigns. In other words, she was destined to be Jun Xiaoyao's enemy. Chapter 788. After the incident at the Jade Pool Ancient Land, time passed. News of what Jun Xiaoyao had done on the buried Emperor Star had spread like wildfire. In the ancient Chaos Tower, he reached the 1000th floor, broke the record, and obtained the inheritance of the ancient Chaos Great Emperor. He defeated the Qin family's Son of God, Qin Wudao, in 3 moves. Later, he went to rescue the Jun family's hidden prodigy and fought 3 top outlawed Sky Prides alone, killing 2 and severely injuring 1. After that, in the Jade Pool Ancient Land, he defeated the immortal bandit, Princess Divine Silkworm, Yao Yuekong, and other Sky Prides alone. Some escaped, some died, and even Princess Divine Silkworm was forced to return to her original body and was planted with a slave seal, turning her into a pet-like existence. It could be said that Jun Xiaoyao's deeds had completely shocked the entire buried Emperor Star. After countless Sky Prides heard the news, they were all dumbfounded and in disbelief. Jun Xiaoyao's opponents were all famous existences on the ancient road. None of them were weak. Even so, those top-notch geniuses, who were feared by many, were like chickens and dogs before Jun Xiaoyao. Even when they attacked together, they were beaten to a pulp by Jun Xiaoyao. They either died or fled. It could be said that Jun Xiaoyao's reputation was unshakable. There were even Jun Xiaoyao's crazy admirers who thought that Jun Xiaoyao might win the game between Jun Xiaoyao and the Heavenly Axiom. They thought that even if the 7 defiant emperors worked together, they would not be a match for Jun Xiaoyao. Now, Jun Xiaoyao was undoubtedly the strongest Sky Pride on the ancient road of the ultimate path. He was like a big boss of the younger generation, a mountain that no one could climb over. Compared to the clamor of the entire buried Emperor Star, Jun Xiaoyao himself was very low-key. After some time, he also arrived at the location of the Gate of Life and Death. It was an ancient archipelago. In the middle of the archipelago, a dark and cold door was suspended in the void. The surrounding sky was dark, as if all the light was absorbed by the door. Jun Xiaoyao looked at the Gate of Life and Death indifferently. For other geniuses, the Gate of Life and Death was a forbidden place. However, it was nothing to Jun Xiaoyao. This Gate of Life and Death seems to be. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes revealed a hint of suspicion. His sharp soul perception detected a trace of an unusual aura. It was as if he did not fit in with the rest of the 9 heavens' immortal realm. Interesting. Jun Xiaoyao's lips curled into a faint smile. Even without Jiang Luoli, Jun Xiaoyao was also interested in the Gate of Life and Death. Without the slightest hesitation, Jun Xiaoyao stepped forward and pushed open the door of life and death. That's the Son of God of the Jun family. Around the Gate of Life and Death, there were a few Sky Prides who had come to pick up scraps. When they saw the white-robed figure entering the Gate of Life and Death, their pupils shrank. The buried Emperor Star was one of the most dangerous places with opportunities and treasures. However, Jun Xiaoyao was leisurely strolling through it. Is this the difference between us and the peerless taboo? the Sky Prides exclaimed. After hearing so much about Jun Xiaoyao, they did not think a mere gate of life and death would pose any threat to Jun Xiaoyao. It felt like a different world was inside the gate of life and death. The place was dark, like an eternal night. Pieces of broken continents floated in the void. It felt like a broken world, as if it had been forgotten by time. As I thought, the rules of cultivation here are slightly different than the Nine Heavens' immortal realm, Jun Xiaoyao murmured. He had already noticed it when he was outside the gate of life and death. Now that he was inside the gate of life and death, the feeling was even clearer. In a way, the world inside the gate of life and death was similar to Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe. They both had their own rules and worlds. That piqued Jun Xiaoyao's interest. It seems like there are other worlds apart from the Nine Heavens' immortal realm and the foreign realm. What's on the other side of the realm ocean? There's also the forbidden land of life. Rumor has it that the realm of the returning ruins above the Nine Heavens is also a world of its own. It's not bound by the rules of the Nine Heavens either. Jun Xiaoyao had many thoughts in his mind. The world was huge, and it had many secrets. Even though Jun Xiaoyao was born with a high starting point, it did not necessarily mean he knew the truth about the world. As for the famous martial monarchs, were they dead? Where did they go? Where did the martial monarchs of the Jun clan, including the heaven-abandoning martial monarch, go? Besides, where was the origin that the mythical monarch Mi Fei mentioned? It was definitely not in the Nine Heavens' immortal realm. Jun Xiaoyao's mind was filled with thoughts. It was true that his strength was unbeatable among the younger generation. He was even stronger than some of the experts from the older generation. However, there were still too many mysteries that he had yet to solve. His father, the white-robed godly Emperor Jun Wuhui, was still using the three Pure Ones to suppress the three realms. Jun Xiaoyao would have to figure out the answers to these questions in the future. Forget it, I'll find the answers to these questions in the future. I should focus on finding Luoli first. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head and withdrew his thoughts. He continued to move forward. Some time later, a river suddenly appeared in front of him. It was a strange river of black and white flowing deep into the door of life and death. What surprised Jun Xiaoyao was that what flowed in the river of black and white was not river water, but laws of the Great Path. Jun Xiaoyao wanted to take a closer look. However, he suddenly sensed a terrifying force pulling Jun Xiaoyao into the river of black and white. As soon as he entered the river of black and white, a terrifying force of the rules of Tao surged at Jun Xiaoyao's body. Jun Xiaoyao's flesh emitted a glow as his blood surged into the sky. He was resisting the force of the rules of Tao with his sacred flesh. Such a terrifying force. Luckily, it's me. Any other genius would have been crushed into pieces by now, Jun Xiaoyao murmured. Not every genius had a flesh as outstanding as Jun Xiaoyao's. The river of black and white continued to flow. Jun Xiaoyao even saw many skeletons and incomplete corpses in it. They must have been the geniuses who had entered the door of life and death before falling into the river of black and white. It was enough to prove how dangerous the door of life and death was. Not everyone had a chance to escape from it. Is Luoli going to be fine? Jun Xiaoyao frowned. Jiang Luoli possessed the primordial spirit Tao flesh, thus she had an affinity with the rules of Tao. Normally, she would be immune to the force of the rules of Tao, and could even absorb the force of the rules of Tao. Following it, Jun Xiaoyao began to comprehend the force of the rules of Tao in the river of black and white. These rules of Tao don't belong to the Nine Heavens' immortal realm. Are they from a foreign realm, a forbidden zone, or some other unknown place? Jun Xiaoyao wondered. As he was immersed in his thoughts, his sharp divine sense suddenly sensed a great danger. The river of black and white suddenly became restless. One of the beasts went berserk all of a sudden and charged at Jun Xiaoyao. It was a ferocious beast with 6 limbs that were as sharp as sickles. Its body was covered in a shell, and it had 6 pairs of dark green compound eyes. Humph! Jun Xiaoyao snorted coldly and pointed with his finger. Boundless lightning flashed, and a giant finger of lightning was shot out right away. It was the finger of the Lightning Emperor. However, when the finger of the Lightning Emperor landed on the strange beast with 6 limbs, it immediately dissipated. Immune to the power of Tao? Jun Xiaoyao was astounded. Chapter 789. Jun Xiaoyao was well aware of this situation. It was because he himself had the ability to do so. Magic immunity was an ability that Jun Xiaoyao obtained from signing in. It had always been a great help to him. However, as Jun Xiaoyao's opponents grew stronger, the magic immunity was gradually unable to keep up. Although the magic immunity could be improved as Jun Xiaoyao's strength increased, the effect was ultimately limited. Jun Xiaoyao did not expect the 6-armed bladed beast in front of him to have the magic immunity ability. Hiss! The 6-armed bladed beast let out a sharp, ear-piercing hiss as if it was infuriated by Jun Xiaoyao's attack. Its 6 blade-like limbs slashed at Jun Xiaoyao like 6 heavenly sabers. Jun Xiaoyao clenched his hand into a fist and punched out. Boom! The entire river of black and white rippled endlessly, and countless Tao laws exploded like water splashes. The 6-armed bladed beast was sent flying by the punch. Jun Xiaoyao also took a few steps back. Not bad. It's equivalent to a great sage. If it has the magic immunity ability, even a great sage would have a hard time dealing with it, Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself. He finally understood why only a few of the geniuses who entered the door of life and death had ever come out. Putting aside whether those geniuses could withstand the impact of the black and white river. Even if they could, they would still have to face the attacks of the bladed beast. In the black and white river, they would have to endure the impact of the Tao laws. On top of that, there was a bladed beast that was comparable to a great sage and had the magic immunity ability. Even a supreme outlawed Sky Pride would have a hard time dealing with it, let alone other geniuses. That was why the door of life and death was known as a place of no return. Jun Xiaoyao was the only one who was able to deal with the situation at hand. Jun Xiaoyao was also certain that the 6-armed bladed beast was definitely not a creature from the 9 heavens immortal realm. Could it be that the inheritance in the door of life and death isn't the inheritance of the great emperor of the immortal realm? Jun Xiaoyao wondered. While he was deep in thought, the 6-armed blade exotic beast charged forward again. Do you really think that I can't do anything to you? Jun Xiaoyao said coldly. He swung his fist again and unleashed the 6 paths of reincarnation fist. His fist radiance was world-shocking, causing the entire river of black and white to boil. All kinds of Tao patterns were shattered. The 6 reincarnation vortexes were like 6 ancient universes. Together with Jun Xiaoyao's fist aura, they smashed towards the 6-armed bladed beast. Boom! 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 After a few punches, the magical immunity of the 6-armed blade exotic beast was directly broken. His fist smashed into the exotic beast's body. Even though the exotic beast was covered in carapace, it couldn't withstand Jun Xiaoyao's ferocious punches. In just 15 minutes, the 6-armed bladed exotic beast was smashed to the ground, covered in blood. All 6 of its joints were broken. Just as Jun Xiaoyao was about to end the battle with a single punch, he seemed to have thought of something and raised his hand. He unleashed the god-devouring demonic art. The severely wounded 6-armed bladed exotic beast was directly sucked into the devouring vortex and refined. In the next moment, Jun Xiaoyao felt an inexplicable force fusing into his body. Magical immunity. After refining this 6-armed bladed exotic beast, Jun Xiaoyao's magical immunity had increased a lot. This was definitely a pleasant surprise. Jun Xiaoyao didn't expect that he could gain this kind of benefit. If I can kill a few more exotic beasts. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes lit up. After that, he continued to set foot in the river of black and white. He wanted to go to the source of the river. During this time, a few more 6-armed bladed exotic beasts appeared. After Jun Xiaoyao severely wounded them, he refined them all with the god-devouring demonic art. In this way, Jun Xiaoyao's magical immunity had increased tenfold. With my current magical immunity, it's almost impossible for a great saint of the same level to break it easily. Jun Xiaoyao was very satisfied with this gain. As time went by, he finally went deep into the source of the river of black and white. Looking around, near the source of the black and white river, there were bubbles one after another. Each bubble seemed to be a miniature world. Is that the power of the world? Jun Xiaoyao was surprised. Jun Xiaoyao was no stranger to this kind of power. His inner universe was created by himself step by step, so he couldn't be more familiar with this kind of power of the world. Jun Xiaoyao even condensed the immortal qi of the world. Right now, each bubble contained the vigorous power of the world. Inside each bubble, mountains, rivers, seas, the sun, the moon, and stars were reflected. Jun Xiaoyao pondered and said, "These bubbles are more like powers that have been separated from some complete small world." Generally speaking, when one reached the level of supremacy, they would begin to come into contact with the creation of their own world. Those powerhouses mostly use the power of the immortal realm's rules to create their own inner world. Only a very small number of monsters could be like Jun Xiaoyao, carving out their own path and creating their own world. But then again, this is a rare opportunity. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly. Whether it was expanding the inner universe or cultivating the 3,000 Sumer worlds, the power of the world in the bubbles in front of him was the best energy. Jun Xiaoyao used the god-devouring demonic art. As he advanced, he began to devour and absorb the power of the world in these bubbles. A part of this power of the world entered the inner universe after being refined. The other part was used to cultivate the 3,000 Sumer world. Jun Xiaoyao could feel that the cells in his body were beginning to transform into Sumer world. Also, the inner universe was steadily expanding. The effect of this power of the world was better than Jun Xiaoyao had imagined. This power of the world is indeed very helpful for my cultivation. If I can get the legendary Tree of World, then I don't have to worry about cultivation resources at all. Jun Xiaoyao couldn't help but think. If there was a treasure that had rich power of the world, then it was without a doubt the Tree of World. This kind of extraordinary item of heaven and earth would tempt even a great emperor. Its rarity was even rarer than an emperor weapon. The Tree of World was the same as an immortal weapon. They were both items that were hard to find in the world. Even with the Jun family's heritage, it was extremely difficult to find a Tree of World. Jun Xiaoyao was only thinking about it now. In the end, Jun Xiaoyao finally arrived at the end of the river of black and white. It was an incomparably huge bubble world. Tiny bubbles were constantly splitting out from the center. That's a broken world? Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flashed. The previous bubbles were all split from the giant bubble in front of him. This giant bubble was a broken world. Jun Xiaoyao could feel that it was filled with rich power of the world and spirit qi. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flashed, and he directly entered the giant bubble. Within it was a vast world. In the center of this world, endless spirit qi and the power of the world formed a cocoon. In the cocoon, a petite figure of Linglong could be vaguely seen lying in it, sleeping like a fetus. "Luoli, I found you." Jun Xiaoyao smiled slightly. Chapter 790. Jun Xiaoyao wasn't actually worried about Jiang Luoli's safety. It wasn't that he didn't care about Jiang Luoli, but he knew that nothing would happen to Jiang Luoli. Jun Xiaoyao cultivated the primordial spirit of 3 lives, so he couldn't pry into fate right now. But he could still sense some things in the dark. If something really happened to Jiang Luoli, it was impossible for him not to have any signs or senses. Right now, Jiang Luoli was sleeping in the world cocoon, as if the power of the entire broken world was concentrated on her. Her constitution. Jun Xiaoyao looked surprised. He could feel that Jiang Luoli's constitution seemed to have undergone some subtle changes. Although there were still fluctuations of the primordial spirit Taoist body, it felt like it wasn't just the primordial spirit Taoist body. Could it be? Jun Xiaoyao thought of a certain possibility. That was the primordial spirit immortal body, which was even more extreme than the primordial spirit Taoist body. It was rumored that when this constitution was cultivated to full completion, it could swallow a huge amount of immortal qi and was extremely powerful. If one really had to compare it, it was probably similar to the mortal immortal body that the successor of the mortal immortal sect had. However, these two constitutions, one was to swallow immortal qi, and the other was to use immortal qi to temper the body and create a mortal immortal body. The primordial spirit Taoist body that Jiang Luoli's predecessor had was already considered a top constitution. But compared to the sacred body of the ancients and the innate Taoist embryo, there was still a slight gap. But now, if Jiang Luoli really transformed into the primordial spirit immortal body, then it was definitely enough to be in the top 15 of the 3,000 constitutions. As expected, this girl also has her own opportunities, Jun Xiaoyao said. Jiang Xingyi had received the inheritance of the Queen Mother of the West. Jiang Luoli in front of him seemed to have also received the inheritance, and it didn't seem to be the inheritance of the Emperor of the Immortal Region. But no matter where the inheritance came from, Jun Xiaoyao didn't care. What was important was the person who used the power, not the source of the power. Jun Xiaoyao stepped forward and approached the world cocoon. Jiang Luoli's petite linglong's jade-like body was laid out horizontally. She was slightly curled up, and her jade-like arms were hugging her knees. Like a baby in its mother's womb. She looked so adorable that I couldn't help but feel pity for her. Xiaoyao. Brother, Nizi murmured. Are you still dreaming? Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly. But to be honest, Jun Xiaoyao really didn't expect that with Jiang Luoli's temperament, she would have the courage to enter the life and death door. According to Jiang Luoli's character in the past, she should have been captured by Tarantula and the others, and then waited for him and Jiang Xingyi to rescue her. You've grown up after all, even though your height is still the same as before. Jun Xiaoyao sighed with a smile, a touch of relief in his eyes. Why did he feel like an old father watching his daughter grow up? Jun Xiaoyao shook his head, trying to get rid of that strange emotion. It should be because Jiang Luoli's eternal lowly face made Jun Xiaoyao have the illusion that she was still a child. In fact, her age was about the same as Jun Xiaoyao's. As if sensing the arrival of an outsider, the entire world cocoon began to tremble. And Jiang Luoli, who was wrapped in the world cocoon, her long eyelashes fluttered slightly. Immediately, a pair of clear and beautiful big eyes opened. Her eyes were still blank and hazy, as if she was half asleep and half awake, and her divine sense was blurry. Vaguely, Jiang Luoli saw a slender figure in white standing not far away, watching her. That incomparably handsome face held a gentle smile that was enough to melt the heart of any woman. Brother Xiaoyao? Jiang Luoli's pretty eyes widened slightly, and then a bitter smile appeared at the corners of her mouth. Am I dreaming again? Jiang Luoli didn't know how many times she had dreamed of Jun Xiaoyao in her dreams. Plus, now that she was half asleep and half awake, her mind was muddled, and naturally, she subconsciously thought that this was also a dream. After all, how could Jun Xiaoyao suddenly appear in front of her? Jun Xiaoyao's figure slowly approached Jiang Luoli. Looking at the person in front of her who she thought about day and night, Jiang Luoli smiled gently and said, I am content to be able to see Brother Xiaoyao in my dreams. After all, Brother Xiaoyao has his own path to walk, and Luoli doesn't want to fall behind. Also, Luoli didn't trouble Brother Xiaoyao this time. I definitely won't be caught by those despicable fellows and put Brother Xiaoyao in a passive position. Hearing Jiang Luoli's words in front of him, Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were even more gratified. After all, Jiang Luoli was the pearl in the palm of the Jiang family. It was the kind of girl who was afraid of falling in the hands and melting in the mouth. Girls who grew up in such an environment were more or less spoiled and noble. Jiang Luoli, on the other hand, was working hard to change her personality for Jun Xiaoyao. This attitude was enough to prove that Jiang Luoli was willing to change everything for Jun Xiaoyao. Good girl, you did well. Jun Xiaoyao smiled. His gentle voice and handsome smile were like the warm sun, melting Jiang Luoli's heart. There's actually interaction? Jiang Luoli didn't expect this. That was because the Jun Xiaoyao she saw in her dreams had always remained silent. This made Jiang Luoli's heart flutter slightly, and then it was like a deer running wild. Her pretty face was slightly red, and her clear and beautiful big eyes became a little watery. Seeing Jiang Luoli's expression, Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flashed slightly. This girl, is she going to do something that is not suitable for children? Sure enough, Jiang Luoli began to undress herself. Brother Xiaoyao, to be honest, I hate myself. I hate the jealous me. When I saw Brother Xiaoyao hugging Sister Xingyi, I knew I shouldn't have such emotions, but I couldn't help it. Previously, I even thought of the stupid idea of drugging you and having sex with Brother Xiaoyao. Now it seems that it was really ridiculous. Jiang Luoli's big eyes were a little bit sparkling as she spoke. Her clothes gradually became less and less. Her snow-white skin gradually became more and more. Her delicate body was like a tender bamboo shoot, with a faint body fragrance. Jun Xiaoyao couldn't help but think of one of the 4 mythical beasts. It wasn't the azure dragon, the vermilion bird, or the black tortoise. Brother Xiaoyao, I'm not a child anymore. Even if it's in a dream, can I hug Luoli? Jiang Luoli's pretty face was snow-white and tender, lovely and moving. The way she asked for a hug in a weak voice was even more like a fragrant and soft snow-white bunny. There were 3 good things about Luoli: her soft voice, soft body, and easy to push down. At this moment, Jiang Luoli was a vivid example of this. Even Buddha would have to renounce asceticism if he saw her like this. Jun Xiaoyao was not a hypocrite or a moralist. He looked at Jiang Luoli generously and said with a smile, I haven't seen you for a few years. Although your height hasn't changed much, some parts of your body have developed well. Hearing Jun Xiaoyao's slightly teasing tone, Jiang Luoli was confused. Was the dream so real? Jun Xiaoyao stepped forward with a faint smile and reached out to knock Jiang Luoli's little head. Silly girl, haven't you woken up yet? Jiang Luoli's watery eyes suddenly widened and her cherry mouth opened slightly, revealing an expression that had shocked her for a whole year. Chapter 791. Jiang Luoli's shocked expression at this moment was extremely cute. The twin ponytails behind her head stood up as if they were about to explode. This isn't a dream. Big Brother Xiaoyao, is it really you? Jiang Luoli subconsciously reached out her small hand and stroked Jun Xiaoyao's chest. Her heart thumped loudly. A dream couldn't be so realistic. Jiang Luoli was completely dumbfounded. She didn't expect Jun Xiaoyao to come looking for her. Not everyone had the courage to enter the gate of life and death. However, Jun Xiaoyao didn't hesitate to come looking for her. This was enough to prove that she still had a place in Jun Xiaoyao's heart. Could it be that the person in front of you is a fake person? Jun Xiaoyao laughed softly. Boo-hoo, Big Brother Xiaoyao. Jiang Luoli was like a swallow returning to its nest. She threw herself into Jun Xiaoyao's arms and cried. Only the heavens knew how many setbacks and grievances she had experienced alone on the ancient road of life and death. However, in order to become stronger, in order to keep up with Jun Xiaoyao's footsteps, in order to not cause trouble for him, Jiang Luoli had always gritted her teeth and endured it. She would rather fall into the dangerous gate of life and death than cause any trouble for Jun Xiaoyao. But now, the grievances in her heart had disappeared with Jun Xiaoyao's arrival. She knew that Jun Xiaoyao cared about her. He even came looking for her. Don't cry. Aren't I here now? Jun Xiaoyao patted Jiang Luoli's back. Jiang Luoli's arms were still tightly wrapped around Jun Xiaoyao's waist. Because of their height, her head could only be buried in Jun Xiaoyao's chest. It was the most adorable height difference. However, this made Jiang Luoli feel incomparably safe and warm. Alright, Luoli, are you testing my character? Jun Xiaoyao laughed. Only then did Jiang Luoli loosen her arms. Her face instantly became hot, as red as blood. She hastily wrapped her arms around herself. The original airport had turned into a small hill. Although she still couldn't compare with Jiang Shengyi, Yan Ruming, and Yu Chanwan. But it was better than nothing. As the saying goes, size and shape vary from person to person. However, there was a qualitative difference between having and not having. If it weren't for the dream, Jiang Luoli would never be so bold. You've already seen it. Why are you still hiding it? Jun Xiaoyao shook his head slightly. When Jiang Luoli heard this, she was so embarrassed that her snow-white skin turned pink. Her twin ponytails drooped down, making people want to reach out and play with them. Big brother Xiaoyao, turn around. Jiang Luoli said in a voice as soft as a mosquito's. Why? Jun Xiaoyao asked. Change clothes. Jiang Luoli wanted to turn into an ostrich and bury her head in the ground. Are you saying that my spiritual will is useless? Jun Xiaoyao asked with a smile. Even if he closed his eyes, his divine sense could still spy on his surroundings. Big brother Xiaoyao, lecture. Jiang Luoli blushed and said shyly. Jun Xiaoyao stopped teasing this girl and turned around. Rustling sounds could be heard behind him. When Jun Xiaoyao turned around, Jiang Luoli had already changed into her dress. She had changed into a long pink dress with a light blue gauze on the outside. Her snow-white and delicate face was flushed red like an apple, making people want to take a bite out of it. There were also 2 small dimples on her cheeks, making her look even more charming. Even Jun Xiaoyao was momentarily dazed by what he saw. Jiang Luoli's beauty was different from Jiang Shengyi's. She was like a warm little sun, making people feel comfortable and happy warm all over. If Jiang Shengyi was the cold and holy white moonlight, Jiang Luoli was the passionate and lively Zhu Xiaomol. If a man could have either of them in his life, it would be a blessing of 3 lifetimes. Both Bai Yueguang and Zhu Shazhe were deeply in love with Jun Xiaoyao at the same time. Big sister Shengyi was worried when she found out that you had entered the door of life and death. But now it seems that her worries were unnecessary, Jun Xiaoyao said. Hearing this, Jiang Luoli was slightly stunned and then said apologetically, so big sister Shengyi is here too. Luoli made her worry again. It's okay. It's good to know that you're fine. You can get together later, Jun Xiaoyao said. Jiang Luoli's eyes suddenly fixed on Jun Xiaoyao. After a moment of hesitation, she said, Did big sister Shengyi ask big brother Xiaoyao to find me? Jun Xiaoyao nodded slightly. Jiang Luoli continued, If big sister Shengyi didn't say, still, Jun Xiaoyao said. Jiang Luoli smiled sweetly. She then put her hands behind her back and leaned forward all of a sudden. Looking at Jun Xiaoyao, she smiled and said, Luoli has made it this far all by herself. Can I ask for a little reward from brother Xiaoyao? Jun Xiaoyao nodded and said, Well, it's indeed worthy of a reward. So, what do you want? Jiang Luoli smiled slyly. The next moment, she tiptoed and pressed her soft lips against Jun Xiaoyao's. 1 breath, 2 breaths, 3 breaths. The girl was greedily immersed in that sweet intoxication. Jun Xiaoyao was very clear-headed, but he didn't refuse or stop her. After a long time, their lips parted. Jiang Luoli's beautiful eyes were watery, and her pretty face was flushed. I thought big brother Xiaoyao would push me away, Jiang Luoli said. This is your reward, Jun Xiaoyao said. Jiang Luoli was a little embarrassed. Then, she put her hands on her hips and said proudly, No, big brother Xiaoyao also took advantage of me, right? Okay, stop. Tell me about the situation here. Jun Xiaoyao pulled the topic back to business. Jiang Luoli was also a little serious and told Jun Xiaoyao about the situation. After she entered the door of life and death, she also came to the black and white river. However, as Jun Xiaoyao expected, this black and white river didn't have much effect on Jiang Luoli's elemental spirit Dao physique. Then, she also encountered the six-armed bladed beast. In the end, she used all kinds of methods to escape, hid in the bubble, and finally came to this giant bubble world. Then, she felt that her elemental spirit Dao physique seemed to be resonating with this giant bubble world. Then, she fell into a deep sleep and was wrapped in the world cocoon. I see, Jun Xiaoyao said. In my dream, I seem to see some blurry images of heaven and earth shattering and all things falling. And this bubble world, I think it's called the elemental spirit world. It belongs to a forbidden existence, Jiang Luoli said in a daze. Because it was a dream, she wasn't too sure. No matter what, this is an opportunity for you. Your constitution, Jun Xiaoyao said. That's right. If I can completely absorb the power of this world cocoon, I think my elemental spirit Dao physique should be able to transform into an elemental spirit immortal body, Jiang Luoli said excitedly. Before, she had always been a little inferior to her own strength, because she didn't want to always rely on Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Xingyi's protection. And now, she saw the hope of becoming stronger. That's good. After you transform into an elemental spirit immortal body, you should be able to control this broken elemental spirit world, right? Jun Xiaoyao asked. Absolutely, Jiang Luoli said solemnly. Chapter 792. Jun Xiaoyao nodded. He understood that having a world that belonged solely to him would be a great help to his cultivation. For example, his inner universe was of great help to Jun Xiaoyao. It was an irreplaceable existence. As for the elemental spirit world, although it wasn't refined by Jiang Luoli herself, it was compatible with her elemental spirit immortal body. At most, when Jiang Luoli became stronger, he could refine the elemental spirit world and make it his own. Oh right, big brother Xiaoyao, if you need the power of the world, I can give you the elemental spirit world, Jiang Luoli said. Although the elemental spirit world was rare and precious, it was also very important to her. But if Jun Xiaoyao needed it, Jiang Luoli would definitely give it to him without hesitation. No, this is your opportunity. You can refine it in peace. I only need to absorb the separated miniature bubble worlds outside. Jun Xiaoyao smiled and patted Jiang Luoli's head. If he really wanted to cultivate his inner universe, let alone a broken elemental spirit world, even 10 complete elemental spirit worlds wouldn't be enough. Unless he could find the legendary world tree, Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe could steadily expand and develop. Hurry up and cultivate. After that, we will leave to find Sister Xingyi. By then, she should have digested the Queen Mother's opportunity, Jun Xiaoyao said. Okay. Jiang Luoli nodded. Then she sat cross-legged in the world cocoon and began to cultivate. Jun Xiaoyao also arrived outside the elemental spirit world and began to absorb the power of the world in the miniature bubbles. Jun Xiaoyao didn't intend to use the power of the world to improve much, but every little bit was worth it. Everything quieted down. In the outside world, Yu Hua King, Yu Yunchang, and the others were protecting the Jade Lake ancient land. Jiang Xingyi was also peacefully accepting the opportunity. She monopolized the entire Jade Lake baptism and her injuries were all healed. Not only that, her delicate body was crystal clear, white, and delicate. It was as if every cell in her body had undergone a metamorphosis. She looked completely new. Her primordial spirit had also undergone a metamorphosis and became crystal clear like glass. She looked even more graceful and beautiful. Next, she still needed to refine the tribulation-transcending immortal lotus. At that time, Jiang Xingyi would completely transform. In addition to the Jade Lake Immortal Sutra and 9 Orifices stone embryo. While Jiang Xingyi's future might not be comparable to Jun Xiaoyao's, it was definitely immeasurable. She wouldn't be any worse than Ling Yuan, Ji Qingyi, and the others. The entire buried Emperor Star fell into a momentary silence. Occasionally, various prime opportunities and even quasi-emperor opportunities would appear. However, their influence was limited. Only a true Emperor-level opportunity could attract the attention of the buried Emperor Star's geniuses. Just as the entire buried Emperor Star fell into a short period of silence. The terrain here was undulating like a dragon's vein, and also like a prehistoric ancient dragon lying in it. In the sky, a beautiful figure traversed the void. She was wearing a palace dress and had an otherworldly aura. Her fine black hair fluttered in the wind, and her cold and arrogant face carried a moving charm. Two jade-like dragon horns protruded from her black hair, indicating her bloodline identity. She had an excellent figure and was tall and slender. Her body was as smooth as white jade and her proportions were perfect. Her breasts were tall, her waist was slender, and her legs were as white as jade. Her snow-white feet were bare as she lightly tapped the void. Dragon-shaped Dao patterns spread out beneath her feet. If Jun Xiaoyao was here, he wouldn't be unfamiliar with this woman. It was Princess Longji, whom he hadn't seen in a long time. She was the first ancient freak to awaken in the Huangtian mystic realm. In the early days, Princess Longji was the only one who could exchange a few blows with Jun Xiaoyao. Later, however, Princess Longji was defeated again and again by Jun Xiaoyao, and she was forced to retreat. In the immortal ancient world, Princess Longji was completely subdued and called Jun Xiaoyao master. She became his mount. After Zulong was destroyed, Princess Longji was completely loyal and followed Jun Xiaoyao with peace of mind. Later, she also stepped on the Emperor Road and ultimate ancient road of the Huangtian mystic realm. Princess Longji wasn't bad. She was a sleeping ancient freak and had the bloodline of the ancient Azure Dragon Emperor. In addition, she had refined the corpse of the winged dragon in the immortal ancient world. Later, she followed Jun Xiaoyao and became Jun Xiaoyao's mount. She also received the best cultivation treatment. Therefore, Princess Longji was definitely a first-class figure among the younger generation. She, who had been training along the ultimate ancient road, had also improved by leaps and bounds and reached the saint-great perfection. Although there was still a gap between her and Jun Xiaoyao, Ling Yan, Gu Tizi, and the Ascendant King. But among the top geniuses she was considered pretty good. That feeling seems to be nearby, Princess Longji mumbled to herself. After coming to the buried Emperor Star, she had been trying her best to find opportunities. Not for other reasons, but because the buried Emperor Star had the ability to make people soar. As long as she could obtain a great opportunity, she would have the chance to become a dark horse and rise up. Princess Longji wasn't upset because of herself, but because of the white-robed figure who had left her far behind. If this continues, I won't even have the right to be master's mount. Princess Longji's cold face couldn't help but reveal a bitter expression. 30 years in the east, 30 years in the west. Who would have thought that the person who could fight with her and whom she regarded as an opponent? Now, not only had he become her master, but he had also left her far behind. This feeling was not good. Of course, this feeling was not because she was unwilling to accept it. Now, Princess Longji had completely submitted to Jun Xiaoyao. Now, she only wanted to become stronger so that Jun Xiaoyao would notice her again. He didn't just treat her as a faintly discernible mount. When she was separated from Jun Xiaoyao, Princess Longji actually missed the days when Jun Xiaoyao rode on her. That feeling is getting stronger and stronger. Princess Longji's beautiful eyes shone brighter. Not long ago, she felt that her bloodline seemed to be burning faintly, as if it had resonated with something. It was the power of the same origin as the Dragon Clan. Princess Longji was excited. If she could obtain this opportunity, she might have the chance to become a dark horse and rise up again. When that time came, Jun Xiaoyao would probably turn around and look at her. Princess Longji thought to herself as she began to go deeper into the mountains. Vaguely, there was a kind of dragon chi in the air. Princess Longji was even more certain that there was a great opportunity here. And it belonged to the Dragon Clan. In front of her, deep in the mountains, there was a stone tablet erected. An extremely ancient aura filled the air, and there was a row of dragon-shaped runes carved on it. It was the dragon language of the Dragon Clan. It was difficult for living beings who were not from the Dragon Clan to recognize it. Princess Longji glanced at it and recognized the meaning. 9 fingers shocking the heavens, 1 finger regretful. Chapter 793. At first glance, this sentence would make people confused and unable to make sense of it. Princess Longji did not know the meaning behind it either. She did not understand what this had to do with the opportunity here. Princess Longji thought for a while, then bit her lip and forced out a drop of blood. She dropped it on the stone tablet. Instantly, the stone tablet began to glow. Princess Longji's beautiful face glowed. Rumble! Strands of formation runes began to appear on the ground, as if an ancient formation had been activated. A place of opportunity was about to be born. Indeed, Princess Longji's beautiful face was flushed with excitement. No one would be able to remain calm in the face of an opportunity like this. However, just as Princess Longji was getting excited, a clear and melodious Loli's voice suddenly rang out. "Thank you, big sister, for your help. This troublesome formation is making me very vexed." Hearing this voice, Princess Longji was shocked. She abruptly turned her head and saw an exquisite and beautiful figure leaning against a tree branch with her feet propped up. It was a little girl who looked to be around 10 years old. She was wearing a snow-white dress, and her soft purple hair was bunned into 2 buns. 2 slender dragon horns grew from her snow-white forehead. Her face was the size of a palm, as delicate as carved jade. Her fair skin was rosy. Her large, gem-like eyes were watery and her eyelashes were long. She wore a necklace around her slender neck, with a purple bell hanging from it. She looked like a little angel in white, pure and cute. At this moment, this little girl in the white dress was leaning against the tree branch with her legs crossed. Linglong's small, sparkling feet swayed. She was licking a stick of candied fruit in her hand. However, unlike ordinary candied haws, the candied haws were wrapped in rare sacred herbs and immortal fruit. It could be said that this little girl, who was as cute as a fairy, would make anyone fall in love with her. They could not help but want to hug her and pinch her chubby cheek. However, Princess Longji found it unbelievable. She was a little surprised. She could not sense any aura or cultivation from this little girl. She was like an ordinary cute little girl in the secular world. However, she was just an ordinary girl. Let's not talk about whether or not she could come to the buried Emperor Star. Even if she could come, how could she escape Princess Longji's senses? Princess Longji's gaze landed on the dragon horn on the girl's forehead. Dragon tribe? Which branch is that? Could it be the Dragon King Palace? Princess Longji was confused. There were many branches of the Dragon Clan, although most of them were of the lesser Dragon Clan. However, there were also a few true Dragon Clan forces. Princess Longji had never heard of such a girl in any Dragon Clan. However, the little girl in front of him had a harmless and adorable look on her face. It was really hard for him to raise his guard against her. "Little girl, did you come with someone else?" Princess Longji asked. She had also experienced many dangers along the way, but she did not let down her guard. Instead, she wanted to find out the little girl's background first. She believed that this little girl had followed her clan's genius to the buried Emperor Star. That's not it. She came alone. The little girl in the white dress opened her cherry mouth and stuck out her pink tongue to lick the sugar-coated haws. She looked very innocent and playful. Princess Longji frowned. Now, she had also sensed that something was amiss. After the little girl finished licking, she started chewing with her glistening canine teeth. She finished the sugar-coated haws in a few bites. Then, she stood up and patted her white dress. "I'm done eating. Let's get down to business." The little girl looked at Princess Longji with her purple eyes and smiled innocently. "Big sister, I want the opportunity here. Please leave." Purple eyes that were as resplendent as gemstones, and an innocent smile on her face. This little girl was enough to melt anyone's heart. However, the words she said made Princess Longji's eyes turn cold. Wasn't she telling her to get lost? She just said it in a more refreshing way. Wait, who are you? Before Princess Longji could finish, the little girl's eyes flashed with impatience. Her bare feet tapped lightly in the air as she clenched her fists and threw a simple punch towards Princess Longji. Dragon Emperor Codex. Princess Longji immediately felt an extreme sense of danger. She hurriedly used her ultimate move and her dragon chi shot out. But it was useless. Under the little girl's fist, her wild chi was torn apart. Princess Longji felt like she was being crushed by the ancient dragon's power. She spat out a mouthful of blood and her delicate body cracked. If it weren't for her dragon body and ancient royal bloodline, it was possible that this punch would shatter all the bones in her body. Who are you? Princess Longji spat out another mouthful of blood. Her beautiful eyes widened in disbelief. She was a sage in the great circle with the ancient royal bloodline. How could she not be a match for this little girl? Princess Longji had only felt this kind of pressure from Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao was now the number one of the younger generation. He was invincible. And this little girl in front of him, where did this monster come from? Hey, you can take Yao Er's punch. Not bad. You must be a dragon too. Be my mount. The little girl was excited, as if she had found something interesting. Impossible. Princess Longji gritted her teeth. She only had one master, and that was Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao was the only one who could ride her. The little girl didn't say anything. She punched again. There was no fluctuation of spiritual chi. Her physical strength alone pierced through the void. Her fist lit up the sky and shook the heavens. She was a violent little girl with monstrous strength. Where did she come from? Princess Longji was shocked. Even if she was a dragon, her physical body wouldn't be this insane. In terms of physical strength, other than Jun Xiaoyao's body, how many people could take this little girl's punch? In the end, Princess Longji had no choice but to transform into her original form. A slender fairy dragon roared into the sky. Her aura was intimidating. Wow, so pretty. Riding this dragon to beat up the holy body must be so cool. The little girl clapped her hands and laughed. Her eyes curved into crescents. Fight against the holy body? Who are you? Princess Longji's heart skipped a beat when she heard the little girl mention the holy body. She thought of a certain identity that she couldn't believe. The holy body's nemesis. I, Long Yaohe of the ancient Void Dragon tribe, am also an invincible overlord. I want the opportunity here. I want to beat up the holy body too. I, Princess Yaohe, am destined to dominate this world. I will make the holy body tremble at my feet. Long Yao Er's little mouth spat out the lines of a Chunibu disease. She didn't feel embarrassed at all. Instead, she put her hands on her hips and puffed out her small breasts proudly. Princess Longji was stunned. Chapter 794. The Prodigy of the Ancient Void Dragon Race. The Overlord of the Overlord Bloodline. Either one of these two identities was shocking enough, and would definitely cause everyone to be wary of them. In everyone's mind, these two identities should be extremely domineering prodigies, especially the Overlord. Although his name shook the ancient road, he was very mysterious. No one knew his true identity. In everyone's mind, the Overlord who hid his strength must be a domineering and ruthless hero. But who was this little girl in front of her? She was the Overlord? Princess Longji felt like her brain was not enough. She could not think. It was hard for her to associate the little lowly in front of her with the legendary tyrant. The sense of contradiction was too strong. It felt a little ridiculous, and the overlord body of the heavens was unparalleled. It was usually male. A female overlord body was unprecedented. But the truth before her eyes made Princess Longji believe this little girl's words. Her physical body was simply too terrifying. She could shatter the void with a raise of her hand. Only the combination of the overlord body of the heavens and the ancient void dragon bloodline could give birth to such a crazy body. It could be said that even if Long Yao did not use her dermic powers, she could defeat a sage king with just her physical strength. Even a supreme sage would have a headache. What kind of monster is this? Princess Longji was shocked. Putting aside her identity as the Overlord, the ancient Void Dragon clan's identity was terrifying enough. This race was definitely one of the top powers of the dragon race. There were few members in the race, but each one was extremely powerful. There were even a few dragon emperors of the ancient Void Dragon race. Their names were recorded in history and they shocked many eras. Just this bloodline alone was enough to make Long Yao above all others. And with the help of the Overlord body, this little angelic girl was very likely to be one of the most powerful taboos on the ancient road of the ultimate path. Dragon Ride. Long Yao's figure flashed, and she landed on Princess Longji's back. Princess Longji struggled with all her might, but she could not break free from Long Yao's suppression. In the end, Long Yao still rode on her neck. Princess Longji felt humiliated. She was willing to be ridden by Jun Xiaoyao, but now she was being ridden by a little girl. Although her origin was indeed astonishing, it was only natural for her to have such a strong background. Oh, so boring. There's still some time before the opportunity appears. Long Yao sat cross-legged on the back of Princess Longji's main body. She rested her chin on her hand and pouted, bored to death. She was prepared to make trouble for Jun Xiaoyao after obtaining the treasures of this place. As for Princess Longji herself, she was lying on the ground, paralyzed. Many of her dragon scales had cracked and blood was seeping out. It could be said that if Long Yao wanted to kill her, one move was enough. Master, Princess Longji thought of that peerless figure in white, suddenly feeling nostalgic. She really hoped that Jun Xiaoyao could teach this little girl, who was riding on top of her, a lesson. Sure enough, that fluctuation originated from here. Suddenly, a sound came from afar. The sky prides followed the fluctuations and came to this place. After all, with the opening of the formation and Long Yao's actions, it was hard not to attract attention. That's a dragon? These sky prides were all from immortal forces and had extraordinary cultivations. When they saw the fairy dragon lying on the ground and the little girl sitting on its back, they were shocked. For a moment, he was at a loss. I was just feeling bored and a sandbag came to my door. Long Yao smiled innocently. She clenched her fists and a cracking sound could be heard. Princess Longji sighed secretly. Someone was going to be unlucky again. Time passed. On the other side, inside the door of life and death, in the giant bubble world, which was also outside the primordial spirit world, Jun Xiaoyao, who was sitting cross-legged in the void, slowly opened his eyes. His white robe was spotless and his posture was straight. When he opened his eyes, his pupils were as black as ink, as deep and vast as the universe, making one want to sink into them. Although he did not emit any shocking aura, the surrounding void was collapsing inch by inch. This was shocking. Jun Xiaoyao could also cause the void to collapse with a raise of his hand. This was because he had already completely absorbed the power of the miniature bubble world around him. The number of Sumeru worlds in his body had also increased from 36 to 108. In other words, Jun Xiaoyao could use the power of 108 Sumeru worlds with a raise of his hand. This power was terrifying to the extreme and exceeded the limits of the physical body. The power of just over 100 Sumeru worlds has already increased the power of my physical body by leaps and bounds. If I were to master all 3,000 Sumeru worlds, then my physical body would probably be able to transcend the limitations of the physical body and reach a whole new level, Jun Xiaoyao said to himself. It was rumored that a big shot who had truly become an emperor with a physical body. Their physical bodies had already surpassed the concept of a physical body. The blood in their bodies was like a galaxy and the cells were like ancient stars. In the legends, the primordial god who created the world was like this. That god's eyes turned into the sun and moon, his limbs turned into the 4 poles, His skin turned into the earth, and his blood turned into rivers. Jun Xiaoyao felt that in the future, he might be able to transcend his physical body and embark on this extreme path. That was what true immortality was like, everlasting through the ages. In addition to the Sumer worlds, Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe had also improved. After absorbing some of the power of the world, Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe had expanded a little. According to Jun Xiaoyao's vision as a traveler, it was around a light year in diameter. A distance of 1 light year sounded quite far. However, Jun Xiaoyao was currently in the 9 heavens immortal realm in the fantasy world. The Huangtian immortal realm alone was extremely vast, let alone the entire immortal realm. Ordinary saints would not be able to travel across the entire Huangtian immortal realm in their lifetime. It was obvious how vast the 9 heavens immortal realm was. Besides, there were also mysterious places like the Outer Realm, the Burial Ground, and the Realm Sea. In the context of such a vast world, Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe with a diameter of 1 light year was indeed like a speck of dust. The inner universe was closely related to Jun Xiaoyao's cultivation. The expansion and evolution of the inner universe would also improve Jun Xiaoyao's cultivation. It was because it was his Tao. It seems like I still have to find some rare items and put them in the inner universe to accelerate the expansion of the inner universe. If the size of my inner universe is the same as the Huangtian immortal realm, then I'm almost invincible. If the size of my inner universe is the same as the 9 heavens immortal realm, then I'm truly invincible. If the size of my inner universe exceeds the 9 heavens immortal realm and is limitless, then I'll be a god above everything. Jun Xiaoyao made a judgment in his heart. However, the expansion of the inner universe required a vast amount of energy and world power. This was much more difficult than transforming the Sumer world. If I can find a world tree, Jun Xiaoyao pondered. Right now, what he needed the most was a world tree. If he could plant a world tree in the inner universe, then his inner universe could continue to evolve. Just as Jun Xiaoyao was thinking, the primordial spirit world suddenly trembled. It seems like Luoli is about to succeed. Jun Xiaoyao stood up and looked over. Chapter 795. Inside the primordial spirit world, Jiang Luoli finished absorbing the power of the world cocoon and also finished cultivating. Her delicate body shone with radiance, and her skin was tender and translucent. Her bright eyes were bright and lively. Zhong Yu was as beautiful as the heavens and earth, like a beautiful fairy. 8 strands of celestial qi wrapped around Jiang Luoli's body, making her look like a little fairy. She was mesmerizing. After absorbing the power of the world cocoon, Jiang Luoli's body had completely transformed from the primordial spirit Tao body to the primordial spirit immortal body. Although it was only a difference of 1 word, the difference was like heaven and earth. After all, anything related to the word immortal was extraordinary. And with the primordial spirit immortal body's ability, it wouldn't be difficult to form the 9th strand of immortal qi in the future. 9 was the limit. Even the mortal immortal body of the Run immortal sect, or Gu Tizi and the others, could only form 9 strands of immortal qi at most. Jun Xiaoyao had broken the limit and cultivated 12 strands of immortal qi. However, because he was an ancient anomaly, he could not be used as a comparison. Then, Jiang Luoli's little face became solemn, and her small hands began to form hand seals like butterflies. Immortal patterns spread out, and her primordial spirit immortal body resonated with the primordial spirit world like never before. "Come in!" Jiang Luoli yelled. The entire giant bubble world began to tremble. Although the primordial spirit world was in a broken state, its vigorous power was still impressive. Jiang Luoli refined it into her body, and her cultivation level began to skyrocket. Finally, she reached the late-stage Saint King. This level naturally couldn't be compared to Jun Xiaoyao's, but she was definitely at the top of the ancient road of ultimate prodigies. And this was only the beginning of the refinement. When Jiang Luoli finished breaking in with the primordial spirit world in the future, her cultivation level would rise again, as the primordial spirit world was absorbed and refined. Only the black and white river, which was about to dry up, was left in the door of life and death. Without the primordial spirit world as its source, the black and white river would eventually disappear completely. 8 strands of immortal Qi, late stage Saint King. Not bad, you are already a minor expert. Jun Xiaoyao stood with his hands clasped behind his back. He sized up Jiang Luoli and smiled faintly. Although in his eyes, Jiang Luoli's cultivation was almost negligible. But for Jiang Luoli, this was a huge improvement and worthy of encouragement. Hearing Jun Xiaoyao's praise, Jiang Luoli smiled sweetly, feeling very happy in her heart. To her, the happiest thing was to receive the affirmation of her sweetheart. This meant that her hard work and cultivation had not been in vain. Jun Xiaoyao had always taken note of her. Jiang Luoli threw herself into Jun Xiaoyao's arms again. Her smooth and tender little face was pressed against Jun Xiaoyao's chest, her face full of tenderness and naivety. Jun Xiaoyao sighed helplessly. This girl was getting more and more attached to him. But it seemed like it was also like this in the past. She was like a pendant, always hanging on his body. All right, let's leave this place first. Jun Xiaoyao patted Jiang Luoli's shoulder. The two of them also left the door of life and death together. After stepping out of the door of life and death, Jiang Luoli stretched her back, revealing the beautiful curves of a young girl's body. We finally left that damned place where there's no daylight, Jiang Luoli mumbled. Jun Xiaoyao, on the other hand, had a strange feeling all of a sudden. He cast his eyes far away. Big brother Xiaoyao, what's wrong? Jiang Luoli turned her little head and looked at Jun Xiaoyao. That aura. Dragon Qi. It seems that another emperor-level opportunity is about to appear. But, Jun Xiaoyao muttered to himself, the appearance of an emperor-level opportunity would generally cause a huge commotion. Jun Xiaoyao vaguely sensed a dragon aura as well. He thought that it might be an opportunity left behind by a certain dragon clan elder. Of course, Jun Xiaoyao was not concerned about this, but he vaguely felt an aura. The aura of an old enemy. Could it be the Overlord? That kind of feeling only belonged to an old enemy. Except for the mysterious Overlord who had never shown his true body, who had always been hiding in the dark. Jun Xiaoyao could not think of a second person. To be honest, Jun Xiaoyao was really a little interested in this Overlord. To be able to make Xiang Fei the Overlord body of the heavens a pawn. This was enough to prove that the Overlord's talent and strength should far surpass Xiang Fei's. Great Overlord, I'd like to see just how capable a mighty figure like you actually is. Jun Xiaoyao chuckled and stepped into the air. Big brother Xiaoyao, are we going to find Sister Xingyi? Jiang Luoli asked. Not now. I want to meet someone more interesting. Jun Xiaoyao's lips curled into a sneer. His eyes were as cold as ice. He had not forgotten about the Overlord's star and the desolate star. The desolation of the desolate ancient sacred palace was also because of the Overlord Ancestral Hall and the Overlord Star Tsang family. Therefore, Jun Xiaoyao would not hold back at all against the Overlord lineage. If there was a chance, he did not mind killing the Overlord directly. Just as Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Luoli were rushing to the Emperor-level opportunity. At the Jade Pool Ancient Land, Jiang Xingyi had also completely refined the Tribulation Transcendence Immortal Lotus. She had been reborn, and her strength had reached a peak compared to before. The 9 Orifice Linglong's Tao Heart had also begun to take shape. After Jiang Xingyi comprehended the Jade Pool Immortal Sutra and absorbed the energy of the 9 Orifice Stone Embryo, she would be able to completely condense the 9 Orifice Linglong's Tao Heart. At this moment, Jiang Xingyi stepped out of the void. She had skin of ice and bones of jade, and her celestial appearance was peerless. As her snow-white clothes fluttered, her charm could topple the world. There are no peerless beauties in 1,000 years, but those who are pleasing to the eye are beauties. Even the Ascendant King, who was guarding outside, could not help but sigh. Who was the Ascendant King? The Ascendant King was a supreme outlawed sky pride of the Jin dynasty, and a male god in many female cultivators' dreams. To be able to make him say a word of praise, it was enough to prove that Jiang Xingyi was truly a peerless beauty. Why? Are you tempted? Unfortunately, she's young Master Jun's woman. You should give up. Yu Yunchang teased from the side. She knew how high the Ascendant King's standards were. He would not even look at ordinary women. To be able to make him sigh like this, Jiang Xingyi was undoubtedly a rare beauty in this world. No, I'm just lamenting. If I were to fight her now, I wouldn't be completely confident, said the Ascendant King. What he was most concerned about was Jiang Xingyi's cultivation. The current Jiang Xingyi, in terms of cultivation strength, was indeed a supreme outlawed existence. She's so outstanding. Yu Yunchang was also a little dazed. Not only was she a peerless beauty, her cultivation was also the best among her peers. Yu Yunchang couldn't help but feel ashamed of her inferiority when facing such an outstanding woman. No wonder only a woman like her can receive special treatment from young Master Jun. Yu Yunchang's face was gloomy. On the other side, Princess Celestial Silkworm, who had transformed into a golden silkworm, looked at Jiang Xingyi with disappointment. If the current Jiang Xingyi were to fight her, she would definitely have a great advantage. As soon as Jiang Xingyi stepped out of the nacre lake, she could not help but look into the distance with longing. She could not wait to go to the gate of life and death to look for Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Luli. At this moment the Ascendant King spoke. Miss Jiang, please wait. I've received an interesting piece of news. Oh, please speak, young master. Jiang Xingyi nodded slightly. Jiang Xingyi was grateful that the Ascendant King was willing to protect her. My Ascendant Jin Dynasty's prodigy found out that there seems to be another emperor-level opportunity of fortune. However, this is not the most important thing. The most important thing is that someone related to Brother Jun seems to have been suppressed. There's such a thing. Jiang Xingyi was surprised. She knew that although Jun Xiaoyao's character was cold and indifferent, he treated the people around him extremely well. If there was such a thing, Jun Xiaoyao would definitely rush over if he knew about it. Therefore, I feel that we should go to that opportunity of fortune to take a look. Perhaps Brother Jun will go there too, said the Ascendant King. That makes sense. Since that's the case, let's go. Jiang Xingyi nodded slightly. She, Princess Celestial Silkworm, the Ascendant King, Yu Yunchang, and the others all rushed to the Emperor-level opportunity of fortune. Chapter 796. At the location of the Emperor-level opportunity of fortune, the surroundings of the primitive mountain range were already filled with prodigies. However, at this moment, these prodigies were all looking at the little girl who was casually sitting on the dragon's body with a horrified expression. The young master of the ancient Heaven Demon domain was defeated by a single punch? The sword son of the Clear Heart Sword sect was also defeated by a single punch. And the prodigy of the Golden Horned Divine Rhinoceros clan. This clan has an unparalleled physical body and has mastered the extreme realm of strength. In the end, his physical body was also shattered by a single punch. The minds of the surrounding prodigies were a little blank. They were completely unable to think. They could only stare blankly at the little girl in the white dress, who looked like a little angel. It could be said that anyone who saw her for the first time would be stunned. This little girl was too cute. She was like the darling of heaven and earth, gathering all the beauty, innocence in her. But the thing she had done had nothing to do with being pure and innocent. Beside her was a mountain. It was the prodigies who had been killed by her, piled up into a mountain. Almost none of the corpses were intact. They were all beaten to a pulp, their bones shattered, and blood flowed everywhere. It was as miserable as it could be. Most importantly, these prodigies were all killed by a single punch from the little girl. The little girl did not use any magic power or divine ability. This was simply ridiculous and unbelievable. Where did this monster come from? Or did the old witch regain her youth? The surrounding prodigies had deep shock in their eyes. Their hearts could not calm down for a long time. It was not that they were narrow-minded and could not recognize Long Yao-er's identity. It was that Long Yao-er had always been hidden by the Overlord Ancestral Hall and the ancient Void Dragon clan. Ever since she was born, she had been cultivating in the Void Realm created by the ancient Void Dragon clan. Therefore, outsiders did not know about her. Weak, all of you are so weak. Long Yao-er sat on the fairy dragon. Her small hand took out a candied hawthorn from her spatial artifact and chewed on it as she muttered. My sandbag is so good. He can take a beating so well. Why are these people so weak? Long Yao-er shook her small head. The sandbag she was talking about was none other than the hegemonic body of the firmament, Xiang Fei, who had died in the hands of Jun Xiaoyao. Only Xiang Fei, who also had the tyrant body of the heavens, was qualified to be Long Yao-er's sparring partner. Otherwise, any other heaven's favorite would have been crushed by this punch. Who is that little girl? She has dragon horns on her head, so she should be from the Dragon Clan. But I've never heard of any Dragon Clan having such an abnormal existence. Moreover, she only dealt with her enemies with a single punch. She didn't use any divine abilities or spells. We couldn't find out anything about her background. A genius shook his head. Every undying force had their own unique techniques and abilities that were famous throughout the immortal realm. As long as he used it, he would be recognized by others. However, Long Yao-er dealt with any prodigy with a simple punch, so it was impossible to use this method to identify her origin. But her physical body is truly abnormal. She has such a terrifying power in such a small body. I think that only the Son of God of the Jun family's sacred body of the ancients would be able to withstand it. The surrounding prodigies were all discussing. Hey, why aren't you guys coming? Let's attack together. I don't mind, Long Yao-er shouted. She was bored. Hearing this, the surrounding prodigies didn't step forward. Instead, they all retreated a distance. If it were any other Emperor-level opportunity of fortune, they would have charged forward like rabid dogs. But now, looking at the mountain of corpses beside Long Yao, no one would joke about their own lives. Scaredy cat. Long Yao-er pouted and continued eating her candied haws. Princess Longji, who was being sat on by her, had already lost her temper. It wasn't that she didn't want to fight back, but that she couldn't. She really hoped that Jun Xiaoyao would come. However, she remembered that she was just Jun Xiaoyao's mount. Princess Longji felt that even if Jun Xiaoyao knew about the situation here, he probably wouldn't care too much. Then, time passed. A few days later, the stone tablet that Princess Longji had activated suddenly released a blinding light. The array was also completely opened. A terrifying dragon aura burst out from it. At the same time, a blurry figure appeared in the void. That figure suppressed heaven and earth, as if standing in the center of the universe. His face was blurry. Only the two dragon horns on his head showed his identity as the dragon tribe's emperor. However, some of the more observant prodigies noticed it. The illusory figure only had 4 fingers on one hand. In other words, one of the 10 fingers on both hands was missing. There were only 9 fingers left. This was inconceivable. One had to know that even a saint could regrow a severed limb, let alone a great emperor. Even the body could be regrown, let alone a finger. However, this dragon tribe's emperor was missing a finger. This was enough to prove that it wasn't that this emperor couldn't recover, but that he didn't want to. 9 fingers, a dragon tribe's emperor. This distinct characteristic made all the prodigies think of a famous dragon tribe emperor. The 9-fingered sage dragon emperor. This emperor was definitely a legend of the dragon tribe. Just like most great emperors, ever since he was born, he had dazzled the universe and defeated his peers. He was unparalleled. When he was young, he had stunned the entire era. Everyone thought that the Nine-Finger Sage Dragon Emperor would be like the other great emperors in history. After all, it was rare to see a miserable great emperor like the ancient Chaos Great Emperor. Even the Nine-Finger Sage Dragon Emperor himself thought so. Therefore, when he was young, he challenged all his enemies and was invincible. However, what everyone didn't expect was, the Nine-Finger Sage Dragon Emperor was defeated. When he was at his most arrogant and unruly youth, he had lost to a mysterious prodigy. It was during that battle that he had said that if he lost, he would cut off one of his fingers. In the end, he really lost. Moreover, he lost within 100 moves. This battle almost made the Nine-Finger Sage Dragon Emperor doubt his life. There was actually such a heaven-defying existence in the younger generation. After the Nine-Finger Sage Dragon Emperor was defeated, he cut off one of his fingers and asked that mysterious prodigy to leave his name. That mysterious prodigy only left behind a sentence. "Who in the world doesn't know you?" After writing this sentence, he left directly. No one knew where that mysterious prodigy came from or which faction he was from. After that, the Nine-Finger Sage Dragon Emperor wasn't discouraged. After all, he was someone who had the potential to become a great emperor. His Tao heart couldn't be shattered so easily. He was even braver after the humiliation and didn't try to recover that finger. Instead, he used it as an oath and worked even harder. Finally, he became a great emperor in his era. His name was the Nine-Finger Sage Dragon Emperor. That defeat was the only defeat that the Nine-Finger Sage Dragon Emperor had in his life. However, it was also that defeat that allowed the Nine-Finger Sage Dragon Emperor to temper his Tao heart and forcefully become a great emperor. Therefore, it was a blessing in disguise. However, from the beginning to the end, everyone had a question in their hearts. Since that mysterious prodigy was so powerful that he could defeat the young Nine-Finger Sage Dragon Emperor, then he could definitely become a great emperor in that era. However, there was no news of that prodigy becoming a great emperor in that era. It was as if he was buried in history and no one knew about him. In the end, it was a mystery. Chapter 797. Of course, the prodigies only knew about the Nine-Finger Sage Dragon Emperor's life. They knew that the Nine-Finger Sage Dragon Emperor had lost to a mysterious prodigy when he was young and had lost one of his fingers. However, this did not affect the Nine-Finger Sage Dragon Emperor's reputation. His name would also be recorded in history. What everyone cared about now was the opportunity left behind by the Nine-Finger Sage Dragon Emperor. However, when they saw Long Yao, all the prodigies withered like eggplants that had been hit by frost. With Long Yao around, it was almost impossible for the other prodigies to obtain the opportunity. It's actually this Tharch? Long Yao's purple eyes shone brightly. A bright smile appeared on her delicate little face. Her guardian, Long Yuan, had told her some of the dragon race's history. Naturally, he had also told her about the Nine-Finger Sage Dragon Emperor. Other than losing to a mysterious prodigy, his life was absolutely brilliant. The opportunity left behind would naturally not be bad. When Yao obtains this opportunity, I will find that divine body to settle the score. Long Yao thought happily. The divine body and the overlord body would have a battle eventually. Together with her human punching bag, the overlord body, Xiang Fei, had been killed by Jun Xiaoyao. She would find Jun Xiaoyao sooner or later. Princess Longji, who was being pressed down by Long Yao, was also shocked. She suddenly understood the meaning of the sentence on the stone tablet. Nine-Finger shocking the heavens was referring to the Nine-Finger Sage Dragon Emperor's glorious life. Only one finger regretful was referring to the Nine-Finger Sage Dragon Emperor's loss to that mysterious prodigy when he was young and had lost one of his fingers. However, when she thought about how the opportunity that originally belonged to her was going to be taken away by Long Yao, Princess Longji felt aggrieved. If she could obtain the nine-finger Sage Dragon Emperor's opportunity, she would definitely be able to rise again. She would regain her status as an ancient freak and the descendant of the Emperor of the Ancients. Long Yao chewed the candied haws and swallowed them into her stomach. She was about to enter the space below the stone tablet to explore. However, her movements suddenly paused. She felt a faint sense of danger. At that moment, a surprised voice suddenly sounded. "This is the nine-finger Sage Dragon Emperor?" Hearing that voice, all the prodigies suddenly turned their gazes, and saw several figures stepping through the void. "It's the Ascension King, and the goddess of the Jiang family." The newcomers were none other than Jiang Shengyi, Feather King, Yu Yunchang, and the others. The Jade Lake ancient land they were in was slightly closer to this place. Therefore they arrived first. The Ascension King was also surprised when he saw the nine-finger Sage Dragon Emperor's silhouette in midair. He didn't expect it to be the opportunity of this dragon clan's big shot. At the side, Jiang Shengyi's gaze fell on the fairy dragon lying on the ground. "Princess Longji?" Jiang Shengyi was surprised. She didn't expect the person who was related to Jun Xiaoyao to be Princess Longji. In the beginning, when Princess Longji and Jun Xiaoyao were enemies, Jiang Shengyi was also very hostile towards her. But as Princess Longji was subdued, the animosity dissipated. Jiang Shengyi, seeing Jiang Shengyi's arrival, Princess Longji's gaze was complicated. She had mixed feelings. At this moment, Jiang Shengyi's snow-white robes fluttered in the wind. She was like a goddess who was admired by thousands. Her looks were on par with her strength. Once, she and Jiang Shengyi were on the same starting line. In fact, she was even slightly stronger than Jiang Shengyi in the beginning. Now that things had changed, Jiang Shengyi had left her in the dust. What made Princess Longji even more upset was the close relationship between Jiang Shengyi and Jun Xiaoyao. One was Jun Xiaoyao's closest person. The other was only Jun Xiaoyao's mount. The difference in their statuses was too great. Princess Longji was very envious of Jiang Shengyi. Very envious. "You're here to snatch this opportunity?" Long Yao Er's little face turned serious. After all, the Ascendant King and Jiang Shengyi were both outlawed sky prides. Even if she was very strong and confident in herself, she could not ignore them completely. "You're a dragon?" The Ascendant King looked at Long Yao. Because Long Yao had been hidden for a long time, the Ascendant King could not figure out her background. Jiang Shengyi frowned slightly. Although the little girl in front of him was extremely cute. Looking at the mountain of corpses around her, he knew that she was not a kind person. Not to mention that Princess Longji was suppressed by her. "I'm warning you, don't mess with Yao. Yao Er's fists don't have eyes." Long Yao clenched her fists and threatened. She deliberately pretended to be ferocious, but on the contrary, she looked extremely cute and fierce. "Do you know who the dragon you suppressed is related to?" The Ascendant King asked calmly. "It doesn't matter who it is. Yao I'll beat them up whenever I see them." Long Yao pouted. "Jun Xiaoyao." The Ascendant King smiled. "What? That dragon is related to the son of God of the Jun family?" "Oh, it seems to be Princess Longji. She is indeed related to the son of God of the Jun family. She seems to be his mount?" Many sky prides regained their senses. When Long Yao heard this, she was not shocked but happy instead. Her big eyes shone brightly and her fighting spirit soared. "That saves Yao a lot of effort." "Why?" Long Yao Er's reaction puzzled the Ascendant King. At this moment, a calm and gentle voice suddenly sounded from above the firmament underworld. "Because she is the Overlord." As soon as the voice sounded, two figures crossed the void and arrived. Everyone's gaze fell on him. "It's the son of God of the Jun family," someone exclaimed. A young man and woman arrived. The man was dressed in white and the woman was beautiful. They were Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Loli. "Xiaoyao Luo Li." Jiang Xingyi was overjoyed to see the two of them arrive safely. She was finally relieved. Sister Xingyi. Jiang Luoli saw Jiang Xingyi and immediately rushed over. The two beauties hugged each other with joy on their faces. They had not seen each other for a long time. The other Sky Prides were shocked by Jun Xiaoyao's words. I didn't hear wrongly, did I? The son of God of the Jun family said that the little girl is the overlord? Everyone present was stunned. Their minds went blank as they thought they had heard wrongly. After all, this was too unbelievable. They could not wrap their heads around it. Brother Jun, this. The Ascendant King was also speechless. After all, Long Yao Er's image was too different from the rumor of a shrewd overlord hiding in the dark. She is not only the overlord, but also the supreme outlawed Sky Pride of the ancient Void Dragon clan. Jun Xiaoyao looked at Long Yao with a deep and sharp gaze. As for why he was so sure, naturally, it was because Jun Xiaoyao's former opponent, Long Aotian, had obtained the ancient Void Dragon clan's opportunity inheritance. Right now, he also sensed the unique fluctuations of the ancient Void Dragon clan from Long Yao, together with the dragon horns on her head. Without a doubt, the cute little girl in the white dress in front of him. She was the Sky Pride of the ancient Void Dragon clan and the legendary overlord.